Hello and welcome everyone to this second and final day of the New Zealand Open 2024 and our live coverage. Joining me in the commentary booth, I have the executive producer of live content with us, David Vida. Dave, how are you doing?
Wow, we're in for a treat today, Andrew. Tell you what, then there were 13, and that's what we got today. And it looks like we're going to have an exciting final 3 rounds today. We're going to follow our groupings around the course. If you tuned in yesterday to the first 5 rounds, boy, it was quite a treat and so much fun to experience what it's like in New Zealand and how serious and passionate they are about their adventure golf. And I'm just excited to be here alongside you. And Tom Loftus will be joining us too as well today and bringing the final 3 groupings. And look, anything can happen. You can take a look at the leaderboard right there. Cameron Cooper, Steven Samuelson, Matt Ansley, James McCarthy, all within shooting distance. Even Josh Mars, he can go on a tear. We've seen it yesterday how players can lose lose a little bit of their pacing and then get right back into it. It's a dynamic course. It's a dynamic tournament, and just because Cameron Cooper has a one-stroke lead today, going in with 3 rounds left, doesn't mean he's going to walk away with this. But time will tell. It's going to be fast. It's going to be furious, and I got my seatbelt on today.
I think that's certainly a wise move. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I completely agree. It will be Fast and Furious, and I think there are 5 names that we should be looking for as we do our coverage today. Cameron Coover, Stephen Samuelson, Matt Ansley, James McCarthy, and Josh Mars, certainly all within striking distance. Anything can happen here, as we've seen yesterday. Even the best players can end up with a 7 and a bad break. So those margins between -4, -3, 2 over, 3 over, and 7 over are tighter than they seem, I would say. Right now, we have action underway with the first couple of groups. In a minute, we're going to be following the featured group that is John Ansley, Patrick Holler, and James Goatley around for the 6th round out of the maximum of 8 in this tournament. We're also going to be following Faye Ansley and Josh Mars and James McCarthy for the 7th round. And then between the 7th and 8th round, the groups will be resorted into reverse leaderboard order, and we will be following the leading group for the 8th and final round. So stick with us. 3 rounds of coverage to come. And Dave, I think you're absolutely right. The coverage will be fast and furious today, if yesterday was any guide.
We were talking earlier too, a short time ago, Andrew, just about the outlay of the course and how every course is kind of emulated after every lane is emulated after a famous hole or a famous golf course around the world. So lane number 1, which you're looking at right now, you have a very good look at this. This is Pebble Beach, and it is truly a great starting hole to get your pacing down and get your feet together, so to speak. Very simple design, but man, let me tell you, it, not a gimme by any stretch. You'll see a lot of hole-in-ones on lane number 1 on Pebble Beach, but it's also a good chance just for you to get the nerves underway and the nerves in check, if you will, because a lot of golf still left today. A lot of adventure golf, and anything can happen, and it probably will today. Be on the lookout, by the way, for lane 15, New St. Andrews, was a big problem and a challenge for a lot of the players yesterday, and even Augusta National. That's lane 18. That certainly could be the difference today, the difference maker in crowning a champion and coming in second or third.
Yep, and joining us also today in the commentary booth in Wellington, we have our statistical correspondent providing us with a wealth of statistics about the players and the lanes. Welcome, Tom Loftus. Tom, how are you?
I am good. I realized I had to put the mic in front of my face instead of having it hanging all over above me, but oh,
Woof.
Johnny, Johnny, Johnny. Not on the spot, but he pulled a Samuelson there, putting it as close to the cup as he possibly could. And I hope, Stephen, if you're watching this, you take that as a compliment. Yesterday, you were just dialed in.
Yeah.
So next up on lane one of our members of our featured group in this 6th round. This is Patrick Holler with an ace.
Holla!
That's how you start your day.
Wow,
Woo-woo!
fantastic start for Patrick Holler, just picking up where he left off yesterday. So off to a great start.
This looks like James Goatley.
He's the GOAT.
That's right.
That's the name I want. I want to be the GOAT.
Or at least he's Goatley. Oh, the weather looks beautiful today, too.
Yeah, it is. Spectacular day today. Still wearing the shorts, still in the 50s.
Certainly an improvement over yesterday where it's cold and windy. Players now have blue skies, pretty much, less wind, and a more favourable temperature as well. So it could be a sign that we're going to see more aces today. Could also be a sign that these players that we can see here, James Goatley on 14 over, Patrick Holler also on 14 over, if they go on a good run, you never know what could happen.
First look today at lane number 2. And this, I believe the statistics spoke for themselves yesterday, Tom. There was 0 hole-in-ones yesterday. This is Mirfield Village.
Yep.
No hole-in-ones. And right there where you see John Ansley, that's where most of the balls will end up. It's a little bit of a tricky, just a right edge putt here. Got to be firm, and knocks it right in. Great job.
Well done by John.
Mirfield Village here, lane 2. The hole bends left to right from the start. You can see Patrick Holler now.
Come on, let's get this first ace. And you can kind of see where, ooh. So here's an interesting thing I found out yesterday between our broadcasts. Patrick is actually the only player using mini golf balls. And as I'm looking at it, that looks like a mini golf ball.
Absolutely.
Probably a dead ball to get it to sit there.
I think he was probably looking for some type of a bounce or a bank shot. Well done, though.
Oh,
maybe a Fun Sport 4, that dark green.
So the green here around the hole, very steeply downhill.
Fantastic.
The objective of the players is just to leave the ball
Boy,
as
look
close
at that
to the
ball,
hole
just
as
doesn't
possible without the ball rolling downhill. Yeah, it does certainly pick up pace. So I don't know if the ace is possible. You'd need some extreme luck, but most players will want to leave it just to the right of the hole as they look at it. But it's very tough to do that.
Especially with those 2 humps there, you could see James's putt. It just flew. I thought that thing was going out of bounds, and that very well may be how a couple of those players on the scorecards have picked up some higher scores. And a continuation from yesterday, I got some additional intel that I'll share throughout the day. But the one thing that I confirmed was there are some of the other players that are switching balls, but they're just switching golf balls, going between conventional white golf ball and the yellow ones. I think they're using Chromax or other branded balls.
I don't know why they would do that. There's not that much of a difference. Or perhaps maybe they feel that it does help.
John Ansley, nice look. Yeah, I think there is some notion that some players do feel like a Callaway Super Soft. I know a lot of the putt players in the States really prefer that on their particular putt courses. We got Mr. Holler coming up. Is he going to ring the bell again?
Good chance here on Inverness, lane 3, doing the back door, just slides by to the right.
Stop. There you go. That looks like a conventional golf ball.
It does, indeed. Patrick to pick up his par here.
There you go. Good start, Patrick.
Straight and narrow. Green slopes a little bit uphill with a depression on the right side. You can see that about 3/4 of the way up. And almost in.
Good look, Mr. Goatley.
Yep, Goatley there. It's our feature group. 13 players today, 5 groupings. We'll follow this grouping through 18. We'll switch it up and give you another grouping. And then, as Andrew said, we'll take a brief break and go in reverse order as the leaderboard so that we'll follow the leaders into the clubhouse and see if we can crown a champion today.
Yeah, and for those people watching along at home, we have live streaming up on Facebook and YouTube. If you have any questions, comments, or you want to cheer on some of your favorite players, you can do that in the chat and we'll read out some of the questions and comments as well. So do join along in with the action at home. Let us know what you think. If you have any questions, let us know as well. Our team of experts here will look at them, and that is an extremely good shot there from John
Ansley's pulling we might have to change the easy twos to something after John Ansley. Just really not making much work for himself on those second putts. And this is one of those lanes that's got a little channel next to the bridge that we saw.
Yes.
That came into play on 8, but I was told by Matt Ansley that this little channel that's to the left of the bridge isn't really as severe and as consequential as we saw in 8 yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Good point. Tough pickup here, and just slides to the right, just a little bit of a slider.
And that one does look like a mini golf ball.
It does.
Yeah, it's a shame after starting off with an ace for Patrick Hodder, giving that shot away here on lane 4. Next up, James Goatley on lane 4 over the bridge.
Might get that second kick back. Good look. Leaving it close as well. Can't be upset about that.
That's lane 4, Cherry Hills. We go to Oakmont, lane 5 next. Our first look, the up and over, kind of a lengthy ramp, as you'll see here shortly on our screen. One channel to the cup, one speed bump that could actually ruin the pace today. So you got to pick your line carefully. A lot of players will choose maybe a backdoor bank off the left side of the rail there. It's pretty flatter on the cup. Cup is cut center green today on Oakmont, lane 5.
And there was discussion, Andrew had mentioned earlier, about it's anybody's game, and I'll say something after John hits this putt.
Starting off on the right side of the tee box, John Ansley now. Featured group, one of 5 groups today. He gets to the right side. He goes left of the cup, and that's going to cause a ricochet a little bit left there.
A little bit of a tester, and he hit his head there, knowing that that's going to be a much longer putt than he'd like, and getting the rod. The nice mini putt sign in the background that I'm sure some of our Canadian friends are familiar with that on their signs and their courses. I don't know why that's particularly a Canadian and New Zealand thing, but it's a thing.
I think John was looking initially to get that ball to the left side of his cup there. Ended up on the right side and didn't get the proper kick, but picks up a par nonetheless. Great 2 there for John Ansley on lane number 5, Oakmont.
Patrick Hodder now on lane 5.
He's to the right, and that goes back in.
There he goes, rings the bell. Holla!
Gets that stroke back. He just lost. So one under for his round here today, and the 5th round, it's actually the 6th round of action today. Also, staying to the right. Let's see if that has a good bounce.
That looks like a yellow Chromax there.
Shook his head a little bit. Just didn't get the right knock off the railing there. But still a solid 2 there for Goatley.
And it's wild. Yeah. That was only the 5th. I believe that might be the 5th ace. I have to open up my my special link for lane stats. For whatever reason, they're not opening as nice unless I go in an incognito window. I take that back. 5 was aced. That was the 12th time. So that's one of 4 lanes that have been aced over 10 times.
Approaching now Bay Hill, lane 6. Kind of see that little speed bump. It's kind of a dramatic hump there. Players looking for that opening in between. This one for John Ansley leaves himself about a 3-footer here left for his par. He'll take the allotted relief from the measuring stick. I'm sure he's seen this putt many times before. Oh, he definitely pulled that one to the left there.
And the way that he was setting up for that, you could just see in his energy that was a tougher putt than it looks from the camera. Oh, good. Get it in there. Yeah. Good job, John.
Looked a little uncomfortable there, standing on the railing there, but a little bit of an unforced error for John Ansley. He'll drop a stroke here on lane 6. Holla next. See the ball coming down there. Oh, takes a wicked carom off the speed bump and about the same position as John Ansley just had. He was paying attention. He may know that this ball needs to be firm to the center of the back of the cup here. Good putt for Holla.
And this is one of the 4 lanes that there are no aces so far.
No aces at all.
I take that back. 3 lanes. 7, one person aced it. I remember yesterday we were talking about 4. Oh, really nice one there by James Goatley, giving himself hopefully a little bit less dangerous putt. This hole or lane has been twoed the highest percentage of times. 90 of the attempts it's been twoed, but no aces. 23s and 3 4s. So not a super troublesome lane. But the next one, number 7, Cypress Point, aced once only, 73 2s, 27 3s, 10 4s, and 2 5s. So this is one of those lanes where trouble can catch you a little bit.
Round 6 underway of the 2024 New Zealand Open. Andrew Edmonds here, Tom Loftus. My name's Dave Vida, and the action continues here. Lane 6, kind of an up and around, tricky. Lane bends right to left. You can see.
This is a good look.
Yeah, this is actually lane 7. My bad. Up and around with a hard bend there.
It's got those 2 ditches too to the sides of to the left and the right of the cup as you're looking at it. Would be up and down.
It's a good look at the rock landscape that can come into play if you don't get it up the steeper incline. The good off balance 2 there by John Ansley. He knocks it in. Patrick
Considering what John's been through this year, we'll give him a pass. He's had some major health issues. It's just a pleasure seeing him out there. Ooh,
this is a great
good
putt.
look.
It's got a chance.
Wow.
Definitely waved as it went by. Really
Patrick's
great effort.
really getting his lines on those aces are good. It's just a matter of trying to stay out of trouble with some of those drops for him, but decent start for him.
Great pick up there on his par. He'll stay 1 under for his 6th round today as he starts the final 3 rounds. This is a very, very unfortunate leave here.
It's a long one
for James. Now, this one is absolutely going to slide from his right to left, and it's going to be a tricky putt here. Let me see if my notes are absolutely correct on that. Yep. It says watch the rockscape to the left as the putt behind will be hard right to left of the hole.
Really nice putt there by James.
Great job.
You could see a turn there right at the last minute. Looks like we have 15 action going. We have, I believe that's Paul and Emmy that are up there. Emmy, it looks like she has some pants with pizza on them, and kudos to her if that's what that is. But like the style either way.
Just to mention quickly, there is a change at the top of the leaderboard already. Cameron Cooper, 1 over after 3, is now tied for the lead with Stephen Samuelson.
And James McCarthy already made up a stroke.
Yep.
Yeah, it's tight. You know, only 5 strokes now separate 4th place and 1st place. So it's going to be a run, and anything can happen. We saw what happened to James McCarthy yesterday on, I think it was lane 15 or lane 18?
8.
It was lane 8.
It was lane 8.
It was lane 8, and he had some difficulty there. He got one of the
Paul
7s.
goes zipping out of bounds. And we're on 8 right now. You can see the ditch. If you're facing the cup, it would be to your left, and you have that little bridge. But to the left of the bridge, if you're looking at the screen, and it looks like Patrick went through it. There is a little channel that if you catch that wrong, the ball can bounce straight back to you, which it did to James twice yesterday. Then he got over the bridge and got in trouble going back and forth out of that ditch that you see on the right of your screen. And that really ruined his round. You look at him right now, he's 5 strokes out of first, and he dropped 5 shots on this single lane.
He did.
But anything can happen, like you said. James Goatley here. Last year, I was told Cam Cooper going out of day 1. Well, what just happened up there? Those people are
I think that's one of the juniors just having a bit of a laugh. Yeah.
I saw someone kick a ball in, and great assist there. Sorry, I was distracted. It's hard not to be. Great putt there by James Goatley. But the point I was going to make was that Cam Cooper going out of day 1 was down 7 strokes to Matt Ansley. And even in that last round was down 4 strokes and won it by 1. So as we've seen, our top players, Cam Cooper has both the best round of the tournament tied with Matt Ansley with the 32 and a 39, and that's what Matt Ansley had yesterday as well, too. It's just their rounds in between is what made all the difference. I think we see Faye Ansley there over to our left playing as well.
John Ansley now on lane number 9. This is Olympic. Kind of a long, lengthy bank off the right side. Come on down. We've seen a few hole-in-ones on this today, and
close.
John, I think John's got like a full foot, like half a meter between him and an ace on like 4 lanes already.
Wow, that was you can't get any closer than that without the ball going in. And now we have Hala next. Patrick will take the same line.
See if he's playing with a mini golf ball.
Makes it off the right side. It's coming back. This could be really good. Oh, that also just slides to the right side of the cup there. Can't believe that
really hopped off the tee box. Looks like there's something up there that really helps the ball bounce. And we're seeing once again, players are looking to see if they get relief from those hills, and they do get it. And I know there was a comment yesterday about that, and it's really just to give people a backswing. I mean, some would say, well, you got to use skill to keep it out of those areas. But, I think it's fair enough that you don't penalize people just because there's a ridge right there. But
he's waiting for measuring stick right now. Is that what he's waiting for?
People are entitled to different opinions. I think they're not sure
about the
rule. I think there's not clarity on whether or not they get relief.
One thing's for sure, John's not.
Typically, what happens is that's at the discretion of the tournament organizers or the federation, and usually it's on a case-by-case basis. So it might not be the case with every hump when you have the rule discussion. You can walk around.
No, that was not the issue.
He may have gone out.
He crossed above out of bounds on his tee shot.
Interesting.
And it did look like it really flew up on that tee shot, so I'm not surprised.
Are you saying that it went out of bounds? Did it touch out of bounds, or did it just go above the railing? If it goes above the railing,
I think if it goes above the railing, it's out. It doesn't really matter whether or not it touches it or anything.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, really close putt there by James Goatley.
So there's a little bit of a turn of events there.
All of these players, even though some of them 13 strokes behind, 16 strokes behind the leader, it looks like they're all here today to play and all here today to climb up the leaderboard in whatever way they can. This is the final time that these players can earn WMF World Adventure Golf Tour ranking points, and if you don't win and get an automatic qualification, it's those ranking points that will decide whether you're in the final or not. So it looks like from what we're seeing, all these players are keen to make a push up that leaderboard. They've all bought their A game today from the looks of it so far.
Tricky number 10.
Yeah, Rivera now. This is definitely has caused some problems for a lot of folks. Uphill slope with a left bank. Steep upgrade to that level tier there, but there is that depression or that green waste bunker. This is a really good pace. It's going to go a little to the left there, but well done and a great lead for John Ansley. A little bit of paperwork here left to get his par. Good putt. Well done, John. And now we have Patrick Holla. He'll start on the right side of lane 10. He's going to bring this up and bank it right towards the cup. You'll see it come right at you at the screen here. That's up and in.
Bang! What
Fantastic.
a round. I think
Jeez.
he's now back to 1 under, so 3 aces and 2 drops. A very unconventional 1 under for
Jeez.
him.
Great putt. That was very, very ambitious in the putt. That had a tremendous amount of pacing on it. I have a feeling if that didn't find the bottom of the cup, that would have been back at the tee box for him.
Indeed.
And another good 2 there from Goatley. So 2 pars and an ace treated there on lane number 10 as we go to Harbortown, number 11.
And as we watch the leaderboard, if you're looking at the straight list, the big battle really today also is who wins the battle of the Ansley family. Right now it's Matt, but Faye's got a nice lead on John in our group, so he's got some room to make up if he, I don't know, maybe they have something on the line in their family.
A little side betting going on there in the family, that's for sure. Harbortown, this is the Boulders, long, skinny lane. That's got a chance, and that's in for John Ansley.
John Ansley, great putt. He it's like he heard me talking about needing to catch up to his wife and celebrating there. Very happy at John Ansley with that ace.
If it wasn't hard enough to get an ace, it was like a double or triple bank on that one and still found the bottom of the cup. Hala now. He's taking this straight line. He made it all the way through, all the way down, and leaves himself about a 2.5 footer.
Only the 4th ace on that lane on number 11. So special to see that here today for people especially going to play in the future. That's how you do it.
A good pickup there for his. Oh, no, he missed the par putt there. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It looks like another mini golf ball there. Appreciate that.
A little bit back and forth now on his round. James Goatley. He hits a couple of spots there on the rails and finds himself with a nice lead for his par putt upcoming here. A good pickup there for his par. Well done so far. Lane number 12 now. This is kind of a dynamic look at this lane. Very, very tricky. You see the rails that will come into play. I don't think we've seen too many players in the middle section there of the rail. Most of them will get it up the incline there. The pin of the cup is tucked back left about a pace and a half off the left rail. Find that right spot to carry them off the rail and get right back up there, just like this.
Really nice leave here coming from John. And I think we saw one person that really just rode the wall and tried to miss the cup on the left and come back. I have not seen that approach many times, but this is a great leave by John on a lane that, as of right now, let's see how many aces we've seen on it.
Meantime, Hollow's on the tee box. Sets up on the right side, going to find a bank point, get back up to that second, third tier. He hits off. This is going right at the cup. Oh, fantastic putt. Great leave there for Holla there.
Really nice. We've seen some strokes of brilliance already today from both John Ansley and Patrick Holla.
So true. And a third really good putt there within about 2 feet of the cup. And that's going to be a little bit of an easier make here for a par.
And well still done. This lane, no aces. We've seen a couple of different approaches, but this is one of the 3 lanes with 0 aces.
Unusual, I think, right?
Yeah, I
would
mean,
think that I would think this lane right here, lane 13 would be a tough one here. This is Royal
5
Melbourne.
of them. There's
Yeah.
5 of them. I think there's a little less trouble with this lane. You want to get it close to it, but I think people are probably trying to avoid getting into too much trouble maybe on 12.
See the opening there, kind of swished it right around the rail. And that was a very clever way of playing that lane by John Ansley. And I kind of like the approach, to be honest with you on that. Takes the trouble right out there of having to get through that small opening, leaves it really close to the hole there for what should be an easy par pickup here.
He's been trying to get some distance from his wife on the leaderboard, but right now they're tied. Tied for 8th, plus 15. So the Ansley battle continues. Matt's running away. He's 14 strokes ahead of mom and dad. Mr. Holla, Patrick Holla, another nice leave there, not getting too much trouble. And you can see where you get the ball down into that area and it caroms around, where there's a little bit of room there with either some luck or a great angle for an ace on it, versus I feel like that last lane, number 12, there's such a long hole that, see this,
Good
you
putt.
could see that with James there, that rebound had a kick off that brick where it's kind of cracked on both sides, or that part of the cement, where you could see the angle that it would go, and you probably, as you're looking at it, need to go a little bit further to the right. But great approach by all 3 of them for easy 2s.
Let's head to lane 14 now. Our first look today at Royal St. Andrews.
And at the top of the leaderboard, just to say, Stephen Samuelson has dropped a shot. So now Cameron Cooper back with a 1-stroke lead, sitting pretty at the top of the leaderboard, but still a lot of action to go today. And we'll see that group on lane 15 shortly. So we'll keep our eye out for that. But right now, it's John Ansley on lane 13.
A closer look here now on 14. You can see how this lane kind of curves around. He'll bank it off the right side, just slides it to the right side of the cup, and a good leave there. Thought he was going to try to backdoor it, but it just didn't have enough pace for a backdoor approach. But John should be pretty happy with that, and a good par.
Absolutely.
James Holla now. Sorry, Patrick Holla, rather. He'll also take a similar approach. Let's see if he banks it off the right side or goes straight at it. He's going to straight at it, goes over the hump, back over, and almost finds the cup.
He's had some unique lines where I think he's practiced a few lines where he got some good results and some aces, and they might be riskier than some of the more seasoned players, but Patrick's clearly getting creative, and we've seen it work in his favor for 3 aces. And another nice 2 here, and Patrick stays even for the round. And yeah,
James Gottlieb now. He'll also play it off the rail. This has got a front door approach.
Front door toilet bowl swish. Nice job, James. Great ace. And that's a lane that is our second most aced lane of the tournament, number 14, St. Andrews. It's just behind the first lane, Pebble Beach, that has 17. This one with that ace by James, I believe that should be ace number 14 of the tournament on that lane. And we are, this is a make or breaker. Seen a lot of people go out of bounds because they really want to get that pace going.
Yeah.
But you have that hump, and then you have that uphill, and all sorts of stuff can go wrong along this very long and heavy, like
treacherous almost.
Treacherous, yeah. Just big dog leg and a bump and an uphill. John Ansley.
Yeah, this lane can cause a lot of problems today, and was yesterday. He gets it up there.
Speed, good leave.
Great shot. Great shot from John Ansley. Wow.
Andrew, you were right, man. We're seeing some fantastic putting today, Andrew, already, and we're just into the 6th round here. So this is great.
And I believe that looks like a silver Chromax there from John Ansley. And I do remember yesterday with James McCarthy, Looked like he was playing with a blue Chromax. So this might be one of the lanes that some of the top players are favoring to play with the Chromax. I think I remember seeing Cameron Cooper playing with the yellow ball, which I believe would be a Chromax as well.
Awkward stance for John, but he picks up his par. Great 2 on the Sperm Whale, or the new St. Andrews, I guess.
It's funny to watch John on treacherous putts. He kind of does this walk away, like tensing up. That we've seen him do it many a times on putt 18. Ooh, good run at it. Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh, there we go.
Does have a clear line now, but this is going to be a good 12 feet up and right to left here. This is a tough tester. I haven't seen many folks make this putt that have been in this location. Oh yeah, that thing went. Oh, he's playing them probably a backdoor approach
rebound
there.
I think we had thought so many people were playing the rebound on it yesterday with the 3 with Patrick that we just assumed he was going to go straight at it on 15, but went for the rebound to keep it up there.
Patrick
really
will drop a
nice
stroke, but James is going to come all the way
shit.
around. It does stop. I've seen this putt missed a lot too, though, guys. It's not the easiest of putt for a second putt. It's got a little bit of meat on this bone here. He's got to figure out the break. It's going to slide just a little bit. It'll move. It's going to move
So
a
one
little
under
bit
for
from
the
his
round at the moment. So this to stay under par.
easy.
Nice one.
Yeah, no sweat there.
Oh boy, we had a big blow up on 8 again. Steven Samuelson took a 5. All of a sudden, he now moves to +1 overall, and Cam Cooper's extended his lead to 4 strokes. Matt Ansley, who had told me before today that he was up by 7 strokes yesterday or last year after day 1 to Cam Cooper, all of a sudden he's cut into that lead. He's moved from 4th to a tie for 2nd. Matt Ansley is definitely not going to be counted out and knows that he has to charge this round to make up some ground. And do we have another ace there by John Ansley right as you're jumping in? We saw the arms go up.
Ansley.
That's a hard hole to ace too. I got to be honest.
That is a really, really hard one. It's just barely aced more than 15. Patrick with a really nice approach too. I mean, this group's only a little bit behind the leaders. This is the 3rd kind of place group going out, so not totally surprising. And this is the approach that we've seen a few take as well. Really nice look, where just some really creative putts and
good aggressive play. Really good aggressive play there.
And we've seen a couple other players on that look try to really finesse it over that hump and just kind of right into the cup. So he gave it a little bit more, but staying out of trouble with the 2 there. And we've seen players. This was Cam Cooper's bad round. He took, I believe, he dropped a shot on 16 and then 3, or on 18, he dropped 2 strokes. So end of the rounds, it's definitely tricky. See
Sorry,
Faye
just to
Ansley up here.
interrupt. We've got Faye Ansley now, Josh Mars and James McCarthy, that group. Faye Ansley looked like a nice 2 there, I believe, on lane 15. Josh Mars now on lane 15, who's on 1 under after 14 rounds. So good round so far. Great shot on lane 15
really
from
great
Josh Mars
shot.
there.
Wow.
And back now over to John Ansley on 17. As James McCarthy plays 15. Multiple action at the moment.
Good
Good
putt
shot
by
from
John.
John.
Yeah.
James McCarthy's currently on 1 over, but where's that ball going? It's not up the hill. James McCarthy struggling just a tiny bit in this 6th round. Currently on 1 over. This will be to stay on 1 over.
Not the start he wanted to have today, that's for sure.
No,
But he
not
got
after yesterday.
He got his revenge on 8. Took a 2 this time. He did not. That did not go sideways on him. That's seriously that's one of those mental hurdles when you get into the tournament where you get a lane that really just takes your lunch and kicks you to the ground. You kind of gotta
takes your lunch.
you gotta get back up and you gotta play that lane and make it happen. So
that's too much.
Good on
that's
him.
Too much. Ooh. Patrick Hollow there on Firestone, which is lane 17. I thought that was too much, but he got a good rebound and a very fortunate kick off that rock there to keep him up on that top level. Don't want to deal with what's behind down there. We saw that yesterday. It's not a fun place to be.
James McCarthy gets a free on 15.
Good looking
That's probably-
sunglasses today. The sun's out, guns out.
James Goatley now on 17.
This is a good putt.
Ooh, good putt.
That's the
Ooh,
right. Yeah, that's a
wow.
really, really good putt. You want to be
Slid
as
back.
close to that depression there in front of us as you can to get that
Yep.
proper rebound. That's just how you play it. Well done, textbook there.
And very
then
shortly,
onto
we will be seeing our leaders on lane 15. So that'd be Matt Ansley, who's currently on 1 under. Samuel Stevenson, who's 4 over after, as you said, a blow up on lane 8. And Cameron Cooper, who's 1 over. So in 3 or 4 lanes' time, we'll be seeing them on lane 15. Right now, though, it's John Ansley. He's had a very good round. He's on 1 under and now on lane 18, looking to finish strong.
Let's go, John. Put it in. Little
dog
bump.
leg left to right there over that hump at the bend. Horseshoe mounds. You can see the circle, the cup, and they can help or hurt you depending. Good leave here. A
Yes.
straight putt for Ansley, though. This is
And
to
even if
pick
you
up
miss
par.
this one, as long as you don't crush it, you can also get a potential rollback.
Oh,
Oh, he
That's
did
a
what I
shame.
said earlier. John has that tendency, like, gets a little antsy and kind of it's like, ooh, does that kind of step back from it and yeah, dropped one there, unfortunately.
push
They've
that.
been
And
even
otherwise,
with
good
par.
round.
Even par for John Ansley. Very good round.
Very good round for John.
I'm really happy that we caught some great aces from John on the camera today, as he's been in our featured group. He put on a great show for us. He had
Absolutely.
some struggles with his health. I'm just so happy that we could see him play some really great adventure golf today. Patrick Hodder now.
Oh,
Good look.
I don't think
Roll
I've
back,
seen
roll back.
anybody. I don't think I've seen anybody make that putt yesterday or today. Just such a tricky putt.
It's super tricky because I think we saw at least one person where they didn't get all the way over, where they tried to finesse it. And then Cam
Yeah.
Cooper, we saw early,
Yeah.
gunned it over and left himself a putt almost that long away from the cup. And they're tricky.
Goatley there got stuck up there on that speed bump off the rail and prevented his ball from making it towards that horseshoe mound. And now this is a tough, tricky putt, and he suffers the same. This time he pulled that one a little left.
We've
He'll
got
drop a
Scott
stroke.
Clancy commenting and cheering on the Australians, wanting the
Yes.
Australians to bring it home. So we'll keep our eye on that. Matt Ansley
Recognize
now
that
on
name.
2 under after 13. So
What
a
did I
little bit of a
say?
surge up the leaderboard for Matt
Looking
Ansley.
for revenge.
Wow, and he had a struggle yesterday too as well.
Yeah.
And look, he's right back into position, just 3 back of the leader. That's great.
Could it be a switched fates that last year he was, up by 7 going to last day and lost? Is it the other way around where he's down 7 to the leader and comes back and wins it?
A little bit surprising back on the leaderboard with James McCarthy now at +6. Not sure what's happened there, but
Oh no! Did 17 get him
Yeah.
again?
I think
so.
it's +3. Let me just switch over. +3 on lane
Yes.
16.
But he's +6,
Yeah.
6 overall though.
Ah, yes, 6 overall. Yes,
Yeah,
So
quite right.
he's struggling now, certainly. Tough to swallow that one. Back to New Andrew here, lane 15.
I have to say, for Matt Ansley, his story of the WMF World Adventure Golf Tour, exceptional play, but has never won an event. He came so close to becoming champion of the WMF World Adventure Golf Tour, just missing by 1 lane in the final.
I know. Just traumatic. I mean, could have gone either way. And
Yeah.
both players totally deserving of their accolades, though.
Similar
Both
story also in the Australian Open and
last year's New Zealand
last
Open.
year's New Zealand Open as well. So,
Uh-oh.
and I think he came off there just around about the top of the hill, so it could be
Yeah.
possible for him to make a 2. But as we said, he's on a 2 under round so far. making a
Well,
charge.
Matt, I think he went out a little bit higher. I think the problem is that where he went out
Is on the
would
hill.
probably he would need like a washer at that point in order for him to
He's using
really
one.
keep the ball there.
Yep,
Oh,
he's using a washer right now.
Ansley not getting over the horseshoe on 18.
Come on, Faye, you got to catch up to John. There
Oh.
you go. Oh, yeah. We were asking for it and we got it.
Big putt here for Matt Ansley now
is,
on lane
yeah.
15, the new St. Andrews, and he's going to stare this one down a little bit. We'll see just if he can figure out the line. This is definitely going to slide left to right here, up that slope. See how he attacks this. Is he going to go front door or back door?
I put money on front door.
Front it is, and it does hold its line. Not very happy with that outcome. He's going to drop at least one stroke here and give one back to the field.
Finish it off, Matt. Nice job.
Now Josh
Back to-
Mars in trouble on 18, the bottom left.
Oh, that would be
Just
too
behind
bad too,
Mark.
because right now he was at a -2. How many did he drop there? He dropped one, so he ends up with a -1. That is, I mean, as of right now, that's also looks like our best round of the day. Everybody's at par or worse.
We've got Steven Samuelson.
Oh dear.
Out
That was
out
an-
too.
wow.
Same exact spot.
Yeah. So it's kind of interesting,
Oh,
guys.
come
All of
on.
our
Oh, James.
James behind it. All of our players have the ability to see scoring as it's happening. I don't think anybody's really keeping track of the leaderboard per se while they're in the middle of a tournament. But if Cameron Cooper was to look at the leaderboard now and see that he has a 4-stroke lead, I wonder if that would come into play in his psyche a little bit or change his approach on some of the lanes. He'll have a chance to see the leaderboard certainly when he gets back into the clubhouse.
Well,
James there missing his par.
You know, for Cameron Cooper, he would have known where he is relative to Stephen.
I was going to
Stephen
say.
Samuelson, and he would have seen
It's true.
what happened to Stephen Samuelson. So he's probably thinking he has a pretty good shot at the moment, I would say. He is playing in the leading group. This is Cameron Cooper now.
4-stroke lead over everybody else currently. This is the new St. Andrews lane. He's got it up in a really good spot.
Fantastic.
Really good leave. And this
Great shot.
this talk about a big swing here. You see Cam picking up 2 strokes picking up a stroke on both Matt and Steven. That's going to be huge as long as he makes this putt.
It was a textbook tee shot for sure, getting up at that higher tier there, giving himself really
There he
easy
goes.
2 for par.
Really nice. Really, really nice. Not such a good pickup of the ball, but
Yeah, he drops it in the bush, and that's going to cost him.
So he's back up to a 5-stroke lead over Matt Ansley and Steven Samuelson, who are both over par. So right now, these scores are still way over or way better than last year. Last year, the 2 top players were at +8 and +9 with Cam and Matt. So both of them, I think, knew that they could do better on the course last year and learned something, and clearly showing it. Both of them on quite a few strokes better than last year if they hold on to where they're at, especially Cam.
So just to say now, we are going to be following a new featured group for the 7th round. Our featured group will be Faye Ansley, Josh Mars, and James McCarthy.
Let's go, Faye. Is that Faye? No. That looks like Patrick Hull on one.
Yeah, so this will be the group before them. We'll see this group before them play, and then we'll see Faye Ansley, Josh Mars, and James McCarthy play, and then we will follow them around. The story there, Josh Mars on a 35 for his 6th round. So if he makes up a couple more strokes, he could potentially make a challenge for the leadership position. James McCarthy just 1 stroke behind Josh Mars as well. So don't count either of them out. It's going to be an interesting 7th round to see how they set themselves up for the 8th and final round.
A lot of fun, a lot of action today, that's for sure. And we've seen a little bit of everything so far today.
Yeah. Who do we got in the top here? green jacket.
I think this will be the first group. Paul O'Connell. Yep.
Great green jacket, though. Oh
Paul
no!
O'Connell. Paul O'Connell
Wait.
and Emmy Steedman.
Wait, what happened there?
Not sure what exactly transpired on lane 15, but it was definitely something interesting. This is live as we head to our 7th round coverage of the New Zealand Open 2024. We're live from really, really beautiful location today in Wellington Mini Golf Club in the Golf Warehouse Lower Hutt in New Zealand. Dave Vida here with Tom Loftus, Andrew Edmonds bringing you the action today. Leaderboard already dynamic as we head into our second to last round here with our leaders today. And it's been quite a treat just to see our first featured group with all the crazy and great shots that they've provided us today on coverage.
Yeah, for those watching last year, I'm sure they will remember how dramatic that final round was last year between Matt Ansley and Cameron Cooper.
Ooh.
Question, of course, will be, will we see a similar level of drama this year? I think we could, but time will tell, and certainly the 7th round will be a big indication to that. Can Cameron Cooper hold on to that lead? Can Stephen Samuelson and Matt Ansley make a charge up the leaderboard? And don't count Josh Mars or James McCarthy out.
Yeah, that's the beauty of where we're at right now. Anything can happen. You've seen the dangers of lane 8 already today and yesterday.
Yep.
Lane 15, even lane 10 has not been a bargain today for a lot of our players. And then they still have to get through all the way to lane 18, which could be costly for some players today with the horseshoe mounds guarding the cup. Still a lot of dynamics there as you take a closer look at your leaderboard right now.
Boy, and if you look at the lane stats on 8, it is just nasty and all over the place. It has that and 2 have the most amount of action in the 5 through 7 scores, where both of them have, what is that, 4 and 5 people or attempts that ended up between a 5 and a 7, which on, in this course is really a tough one to get, because players are kind of expecting to get 2s and 1s. And maybe, the 3s in here. But once you start getting into that 5 to 7 range, that can start to blow up a scorecard and really, really set some separation between some of the top players, which we're seeing right now. Stephen Samuelson was like head to head with Cameron, and they were tied for a minute earlier this round. Now they have a 5-stroke difference. I mean, that's a big swing, and that pretty much all happened on lane 8.
It's true.
Looking at James McCarthy's rounds as well, 35, 37, 36, 33, really, really good, but then a 42 and a 40.
Yep.
We're going to be seeing him playing next. I think the question there is going to be, is it going to be around like a 40 or is it going to be around like a 33? That could make a big, big difference for him. Can he claim that magic from yesterday, the early magic?
Even if he can't catch Cameron Cooper, he's still got to play for points here. That's still very, very important for him.
Yeah.
We just missed.
There you go, Josh.
Josh Mars, right? Ace,
I think that was an ace.
1.
Sorry, Josh.
He's very happy that he's finished with lane 1. Come on, James. Let's see it. Go in the cup.
Feature group there. Good chance there for James. Just slides it by.
Of a tester too.
Yeah, a bit too fast.
This one should be straight back at the cup. Not wasting any time.
James. Yep.
Right to the bottom there. James a little nonchalant now, even though he's further back. Still a lot to gain here with points, so he's got to still keep his head in the game here.
Yeah, the nonchalant approach, I think, is what got him in trouble on 17 and 8, that final round. Ooh, Faye Ansley. Leaving it real close. Easy 2. Ooh, a little bouncy in that cup. She had a little bit of a chuckle with that.
So Faye, Josh, and James are featured group here as we head into round number 7 now. 2 rounds left. Anything goes. Cameron Cooper with a 5-stroke lead now as he heads into his 7th round over Stephen Samuelson and Matt Ansley. This is quite the story that's unfolding here as we head to lane number 2. No aces on this lane, I believe.
None. And it's been a tricky one.
Yeah, it sure has. See the two
Two
humps
humps.
there?
Little
Coming
ditch,
around.
and then that ball just wants to keep going down the hill and right up to that bush. And Josh is even pointing out exactly where it's going to go. It's like he's been there before. I mean, the good thing about it, after you play 5 rounds, you probably know what this
Yeah.
is going to do. You don't love this putt, but
Tricky putt here. A little bit right to left, right edge. Oh, and he just leaves it short.
short.
Dear me, and he did in fact start off with an ace. Yeah,
The putting wonder from
No.
down under, Josh Mars.
Great putt. James McCarthy now had his troubles trying to get back on track here.
Let's go,
Take
James.
one bounce, 2,
Leave
3,
it right next
and
to that cup.
move
Stop
it
ball.
all around. That's going to go the same spot. That
Same exact spot. Okay, we know what to do here, James. Just give it a little bit more juice. Put it in the back of the cup.
all these players play so fast and rapidly. They get right up and hit the ball. And
Oh dear me.
a little bit of an unforced error there on the left side. Catches the sharp rim, puts him about another 1.5 feet out, and he'll drop yet another stroke.
I
James
think maybe a good
McCarthy.
focus for James would be just to beat Josh and his group and to kind of climb up into 4th place. Because right now, I think that's could be maybe a small goal that he could have.
Ansley
Fansley,
taking it
Ooh.
all the way in the back of the cup. Now, this is also a very treacherous putt. This is not going to be kind. Has not been kind to a lot of players today, but we'll see if Faye can
Just
figure
on
this one out.
just on Tom's point, when you start looking at difference in points between 3rd, 4th, and 5th at these
Yes.
top parts of the leaderboard, it's extremely significant.
Don't I know?
Good firm there. Oh no, this is
That's
not
the
in
putt
yet either.
everybody's that James and Josh missed. So hopefully she saw what that was doing, and she did.
Did.
Lunked it right in. All of them dropped a shot on that lane, but Josh had that ace to at least keep him at par for this round.
Lane 2 gobbling up 3 strokes in the 7th round already from our featured group as we head to lane number 3 now. This is going to be Inverness.
Yeah, 72 twos and 38 threes. That's a lot of threes on lane number 2. So you can see how that causes quite a bit of trouble.
Lane number 3, straight and narrow. The green slopes slightly uphill. There's a depression on the right side. You can see that to the player's right, to our left. You got to get it up to the top tier. Don't be short.
And this is another good ace opportunity, as
Yo!
I say it.
Oh,
Josh Mars.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Little Heisman pose with his Scotty Cameron on the ground.
I like
Love
it.
to
I
see
like
it,
it.
Josh.
I
Why
like it.
not? Why
He wants
not?
to be.
You
He
deserve
wants
it.
to be. He wants to be in the highlight reel. That's for sure. Great job.
You made
I'm
it.
really glad we caught that after he missed his ace on lane 1.
James McCarthy now been heading in the wrong direction. Let's see if he can right the ship. Get it. Oh, he's just not catching the brakes here.
Tickles the rim of the cup, but not in.
Good try there for James. This should be an easy tap in though. For anything else, he'll still get a par and he'll stay right where he's at +1 for this particular round. 8 over for the tournament so far. Puts him at a significant disadvantage away from Cameron Cooper though.
Faye
Faye
Hensley,
Hensley.
another. Oh, yeah. This is the lane number 3. High ace percentage. It's one of the top 3 or 4 most aced lanes, along with 5, 1, and number 14.
Lane 4 now. Cherry Hill, the S curve. Kind of an interesting design with the ramp on the straightaway. There is a little bit of a hazard to the left side there, as we talked about earlier today from the ramp. The cup is tucked away back hard left here, about 1 or 1.5 paces from the rail. Players will probably play a bank shot here over that ramp. Let's watch.
Plays kind of across it, the
Really good
bridge.
putt. Yeah,
There you go,
good shot
Josh. Let's break the streak. He was going ace, drop, before that, but now he's ace, drop, ace, 2. So
sort of
back
riding
on
the
track.
ship now. James McCarthy now. Also
Get
similar
it in,
approach.
James.
He's over the bridge. This has got
That's
a good
looking
chance.
good.
Oh,
Oh,
James, just not
Lots
catching
of
the
really good
breaks.
looks.
Yeah, that's 2 lanes in a row, isn't
Oh.
it? Just great past the hole.
Just keep the spirits up, James.
That's what
I said,
that's
it's
exactly it. That's exactly what he has to do. Keep the spirits up and just be confident that the aces will start coming. He needs them at this point.
and for better or worse, even just being aware, if you play sensible and if you play smart, other people have really ran into trouble on 8 and 15s and 17 lanes that he's gotten in trouble on, and so it can happen to anybody. You're not wishing that for anybody, but you just got to keep your head in it that, hey, even if the aces aren't going, if I'm getting my twos right now, we only have 2 people who finished under par for the first round, and Faye with a beautiful 2 there. That 36 is a solid round and nothing to be scoffed at, and those points for the World Adventure Golf Tour matter, and there's probably some pride and prizes on the line as well. So just take every putt seriously and don't count yourself out.
2024 New Zealand Open. We're live. All the action happening here from Wellington Mini Golf Club. Dave Vida, Tom Loftus, Andrew Edmonds, all bringing you the action live as we're up to lane number 5 now on the 7th round. This is Oakmont. See how the players can attack this lane.
Another with
Up and
a
over.
high ace percentage.
There was lengthy, we're up and over putt here. One channel to the cup, one speed bump that could certainly ruin your pace. You can see it right in the middle of your screen there on the lower left-hand side.
One of 3 lanes with an average under 2, which means people are at least getting more aces and 2s than they are 3s, 4s, and worse.
Backdoor approach, probably the best option. Let's see what Josh can do here. Want to hug the left side of the course. It's got to go to the left of the cup.
Ooh, slow ball. That looks like a little bit of a tester.
With an ambitious bounce off the back rail. Got about a 3-footer here for par.
We've seen some drops on this one, but not for Josh. That's right. No more drops for you. Did you do a little stutter? Did you see a little stutter? Or was that our view where it was twitching? I think it was a move by him.
James McCarthy
very
now.
quickly at the top of the leaderboard. Cameron Cooper has dropped a shot and now just 3 strokes ahead. Oh, very close.
Oh.
Again. Is that 3 lanes in a row?
Yeah,
it
you know what?
Feels like it.
Some days where they drop in for you out of the blue, and other days where you someday the Bears get you, and someday you get the Bear. It's just how it works. Back over here to, again, lane 5, right side of the tee box. You want to hug that left rail. This is really good.
Come on.
Oh.
Really nice look, Faye.
Yeah, great putt for Faye. Easy tap in for her 2 here. She'll stay right where she is.
Proving my bet that she's still the strong and overwhelming favorite to be the lock to win the women's pro division.
That's right. Lane number 6 is Bay Hill here at the Wellington Mini Golf Club. Lane 6, kind of a shoot right down the lane, bends slightly right to left. You can see that notable speed bump there. It's a much larger speed bump, but it does have an opening in the middle. A lot of the players will try to aim for the opening to get through and bank it off the right side of the rail, come back to the cup, which is about 2 paces off the left side of the green there.
And one of our lanes that's never been aced, one of 3.
Hard to believe this hasn't had a hole-in-one.
One thing's for certain, if Josh Miles does it here, there'll be a huge celebration.
Oh, Josh! Oh, there's a little bit of a backwards dish at that hole, and it came backwards.
Well, I was going to say I'd mentioned Matt Ansley had told me that there's a few of the holes that are the lanes that around the cup, there's like a little bit of volcano where the cups are crowned, and I think you can even see it on your view that that's the case, making this really hard. But man, to start this, this round, you have the most aced. Another really good look from James.
James McCarthy. I'm losing count of how many times he's millimeters away.
This is 4, right?
That's just crazy. I think you're right though, Tom, with this volcano right around right around the edge of the cup. I think that might be the reason why a lot of the players haven't aced this lane. It's just that tough. You get so close, it just doesn't fall in because of that little volcano. It's Faye Ansley now.
Come on, Faye. Let's see it on camera. Let's see the first ace. Oh, you 3. Those,
wow.
all of it. As we talked about,
aren't they? Yeah.
They're just.
It's just so good. It's just
showing
so good.
off. I mean, that is really impressive. And if you look at the lane stats, you go from the most aced lane, no aces, to one of the most aced lanes to only 5, to one of the most aced lanes to 0.
Yeah.
And then these next 2 lanes, 7 and 8, have a combined 3 aces. So it's such a tricky course that way.
Live in New Zealand,
Very
we're being
quickly,
treated to some unbelievable mini golf today. It's just crazy. Go ahead, Andrew.
Top of the leaderboard getting tighter and tighter now. There's 3 strokes separating Cameron Cooper between Stephen Samuelson and Matt Ansley. Cameron on 3 under, Stephen and Matt both on even par. So it's getting tighter at the top. And we will be following that leading group for the 8th and final round very shortly. But for now, it's Josh Mars.
Matt Ansley and Stevenson are very much so in position right now.
Yeah,
great place to be right now where they're at, with a lot of adventure golf left here as they head halfway through round 7 and 8 yet. Josh Mars now, this is not a gimme by any stretch, but he should be able to figure this one out to pick up his par. Well done.
Scott Clancy calls Josh the Australian entertainer. Certainly has been entertaining to follow Josh so far.
Lane 7 here is Cypress Point, the up and around. You can see a big dog leg from the right to the left. You got to bank it off, but avoid the rocks that are behind James there. James again leaves it about a foot away from the cup. That's got to be 6 straight lanes that he's almost aced the hole.
Faye Ansley now.
They're going to take the similar approach. Try to ricochet it, bank it. Front door, I don't think it has enough to get back. A good leave, though, for Faye. Good, tricky little lane. Lane number 7, the up and around, Cypress Point. If you're anywhere near that rock collection behind, Faye, a bit of an unforced error and just pushes it a little bit to the right.
Tee shots have been great from Faye. Really, really strong tee shots from Faye. But like you said, just a couple of unforced errors along the way.
Yeah, nothing to be ashamed of, though. Playing really strong and and I tell you what, the players look like they're having a lot of fun out there, though, today still. You know, the wind is still kicking up as it was yesterday, but nothing but blue sky now. And temps are still in the upper 50s if you're looking at Fahrenheit. And it's been pretty comfortable, more comfortable day for the players today. Lane 8. Let's look at Wentworth. This is the lane that's caused quite a bit of problems.
Up the hill and out of the lane for Josh Mars. This will be his first significant test of the round. Josh Mars currently on 1 under after 7. So this will be to remain under par. Very, very tricky shot. And we've seen at least twice in this tournament 2 of the very top players walk away with 7s on lane 8. So
smart play there by John. You see he put his putter down there to mark exactly where he went out. And then he went to collect his ball because it was nowhere near where he went out, though. But that's a really smart heads-up play by him. You don't see a lot of players do that.
Crucial shot now for Josh Mars.
This is tricky and important.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Josh Mars with a clutch 2. No penalty for going out there, but man, that's one he doesn't want to try again. That's for sure. Here's McCartney now. He's up and over the ramp. He's to the right side. Does it get up? No.
And this is where his trouble started on this lane yesterday, being in this ditch.
Hopefully he keeps his wits about him here, and it's a little bit of relief. from the back rail. This is a tricky second putt. This is definitely what started his problems yesterday. And again, here's the problem now. That
Take your
definitely
time
went
here.
from his right to left. So this is going to go backwards from his left to right. Don't give the hole away as he did last time and end up back in that depression.
Get it, James. Oh my gosh.
Dear James.
I think he's gonna require in future airings of tournaments on this course that this lane we just can't show him.
James McCarthy heading in the wrong direction, drops another 2 strokes at the worst time possible.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but in terms of winning, I think that could be it for James. Certainly he's got his work cut out now. After that 4, he'll now be 19 strokes away from the leader with 1.5 rounds to go. So even though, and it's really unfortunate, up until this lane, we've seen James just play excellently. How many holes was he just millimeters away? Right now, Faye Ansley, though, with another tricky second putt.
I mean, he is in second by he is in second by a stroke if it's not for this lane the last
you're right.
two of the last 3 rounds. No,
I think that's a fair statement. That's a fair statement and a fair assessment there. I think you're right. You know what's more important though is I'm not sure how many points that James McCarthy has, but he could have just knocked himself also out of the finals.
I don't believe he played in. No, he definitely did not play in Australia. So he needs this one. He needs to be.
He's got to be
minimum top. I would say top 3 if he wants to make it, because there's a lot of people above him in that higher group, and yeah.
You know, this is a course that obviously James has played many times, and sometimes it goes your way, and sometimes it doesn't. That's I feel the same way about Matterhorn in Canton, Connecticut, when we play on that course. Sometimes you get the breaks, and sometimes you don't. You can shoot very well, or you can shoot very poorly. Sometimes it depends on the day, and right now, certainly not going James' way. Josh Mars now. Good backdoor approach and good try. Leaves himself with a serviceable 2 here.
And you have to be thinking that James is also very keenly aware that being in the top 3 would give him a chance at being in the finals, having been there last year and would like to rejoin Cam and Matt, who are already there.
Of course. Yeah.
So I do wonder if that played any factor. He is playing really fast right now, and hopefully.
Yeah, you just saw him shoot down the lane, didn't you? After he played the ball, he was walking down the lane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough, you know. He's psyching himself out of it. And sometimes he's just going through the motions, but there is still a lot at stake, and he can still do very well. There's still time left.
I think the hard part for him right now is, as I said, like I think he really wants to be pressing on Josh at the very least to come into 4th, and he's only 3 back from him, because I don't see him dropping to 6th. He would have to drop 6 strokes to James Goatley to end up down at 6th. So I think you just got to make a manageable goal. Get up to 4th. You might not get the top 3, but just finish strong. Just ace 8 next time around, and ace 17.
We'll take a look at the leaderboard now. I think actually after lane 8, he's 5 strokes behind Josh.
Oh yeah.
After that 4 on lane 8.
I had not refreshed. I mean, he still can do it. I mean, again, we're talking about how last year there was a 5-stroke swing in the final round that caused Matt Ansley to lose the lead and Cam Cooper to win the event. So
we're live in Wellington right now at the Mini Golf Club for the 2024 New Zealand Open. We've approached lane number 10, and this has been a doozy for a lot of players today. Up and around.
Currently 1 under now on lane 10. Rebound off the back.
This looks good if it's got enough. Great safe leave. Take your 2.
And Josh Mars has to be thinking on his end, maybe I can get in the top 3. I mean, he's 5 strokes back, but a lot of mini golf left for Steven Samuelson and Matt Ansley that maybe he could catch one of them when they're really trying to press and catch Cam Cooper.
Yeah, it's possible the top 3 for points could end up with a spot in the finals. It's possible. We know that the top winner, whoever takes home the title today, will have a spot in Portugal in May of 2025 for the final event of the tour. But it remains to be seen who can come in second and what the points are going to look like.
I would say second. I'm gonna say affirmatively. Second will definitely make it based on all of the tournaments in the books. That's going to make it. Third is going to be the tough one, and anybody who's right below third place has to be feeling tough three there. If you're in third place by just a couple of points, you have to feel like it's going to be really tough to make it.
Well, as Andrew alluded to yesterday, 42 players will be at the top and invited to the World Adventure Golf Tour Finals in Portugal in May. And then it depends on, of those 42, who would like to make the trip, who's going to travel. For some, it might be a little costly or maybe a long trip. And they'll just dig deeper into those who have fewer points to find the 42 people.
And there's some people that just...
Oh, boy.
Hang on.
Oh, Josh, really beautiful approach there.
Look at you. He was feeling it. He was feeling it.
Rock.
He was feeling it. Great putt there. I thought that had a really good chance of going in. Josh Morris here on lane 11.
They bring you some news really quickly. Cameron Cooper dropping another shot. That lead drops to 2.
Down to 2. This is what we were talking about from last year. Come on, James. Oh boy.
James, boy, he's leaving himself some work to get par here now.
Actually, and James Goatley now is only 3 strokes behind him, so I think part of his goal is holding on to 5th, which, I mean, that could be if he keeps dropping, that could be an issue.
Ansley now on lane 11.
Yep.
Double bounce. This has got a chance if it's got enough. Leaves it about 1.5 foot short. Didn't get there, but that was the right idea there. That's certainly double bounce, double break, double bank. Certainly gives it a chance to get the right line there. Well done.
Now, another interesting element here. Cameron Cooper, after winning the Australian Open, already has his invitation to the final. But if he wins today, he will become the first person ever to win 3 WMF World Adventure Golf Tour events.
Wow.
That's true.
That's fantastic.
Because it's him and Martin Lundell are the only ones that have won 2, or there's a few actually have probably won 2 at this point, aren't there?
Shouldn't that allow you the ability to invite someone to pick who the person is? If you got the spot, you can just kind of will it to somebody else.
So Cameron Cooper, Martin Lundell, and Sevi Kukielka are both
right.
2 wins at the moment. Nobody's on 3. Cameron Cooper could become the first person in history to win.
That's right. Because
Cameron's
Sevi won the British Open last year.
Cameron's still got work to do, though. Only 2-stroke lead now. It's
definitely
getting tighter. It's not in the books yet, and there's still a round and a half left to play. So anything can happen.
Even though Cameron isn't playing for a spot in the final because he knows he already has it, he is certainly playing for a spot in history, becoming the first person ever to win 3 events. And of course, if you're the first person ever to do it, no one can take that away from you.
Nope, that's a fantastic accolade. Something that I would be absolutely thrilled to be going after. Faye way short on this one.
That's the first time that we've seen that where you don't get enough juice up there where that can happen. And she rode the wall a little bit more, that shot that I was wondering if people were potentially taking, but again, a lane that has not been aced.
Right center of the cup here for Faye. She finds the bottom. Very nicely done. Wow, that's a clutch putt there. Well done for Faye Ansley.
Action now on lane 10. Sorry, lane 15 in the top left. Patrick Holler, John Ansley, and James Goatley are on lane 15 as Josh Mars. I think this will be lane 12 unless the scores haven't updated yet.
Yep, this is
lane
13.
Lane
13. Lane 13.
12 is the one that had not been aced. This one has.
Surprisingly. Oh, no. There it is, off the course again. That's Goatley. Goatley just hit it off the course. He's going to have a tough second putt here. Josh Mars leaving himself a serviceable second putt here on lane 13. Bottom left 13, top left, lane 15. Goatley now. Up the hill, going to go from his right to left. Backdoor approach, doesn't give it enough. He'll drop a stroke.
We have James McCarthy going for a 2 here. You can definitely see it in his body language right now. I think he kind of knows
A
that
little defeated.
it's gotten away from him. And
Oh, yeah, I see.
I hate saying that right before that happens.
You gotta stop saying that.
It's part of the game, but
this is not a gimme either, folks. This is not a gimme.
It's part of the game, but it's also really hard to see people just have the course chew them up, because ultimately, even if you're playing with these people and you know that their misfortunes can benefit you, most players are not really cheering for that. They're just sort of focused on their game. And same with being a spectator with James there. Faye trying to knock in a 2 here. We're hoping that James can finish strong with that final round.
It's a couple points to James. After a while, it's a waterfall effect where when one thing happens, it leads to another.
Yes.
But then, secondly, you start to lose interest. When you start to lose interest in how you're playing, you don't keep physically in front and mentally in front of the game. You have to be present. And that means 8 rounds present. And that's tough to do in a competition like this. 8 rounds is a lot of rounds to be present on every single putt. It's mentally, it's more demanding. Not necessarily a physical sport as it is, more mental and more challenging. And that's the benefit of, I think, the beauty of this sport, really.
Josh Mars now on lane 14.
Knew what he was doing there.
Yeah, that's the St. Andrews and the heavily aced. And yeah, I mean, if you're looking at the scoreboard with James, you had talked about this earlier, Andrew, where it was that 42 and then that 40 earlier, and right now he's on a 40. So let's get him back in the red. Let's get an ace here. Come on, ball. Right now he's on a 40 even if he doesn't drop any more shots. So I think that's just got, when you see all of those scores in Bond Golf and green and red to start, you got to be feeling really good. And you get 3 of those black scores in a row that are 40 or worse, and you're just like, oh. And I just hope he can finish strong at the very least.
Faye Ansley now. She's going to bank it off the right.
Faye.
Take it over. Wow.
That was precarious.
A little rock and roll on that one, huh?
It was precarious. Just hitting those little swales. You're worried that you get behind one of those, and you get those tester putts where even if it's a foot or two, where you're having to go over those swales.
Okay. Real quick, Matt Ansley acing another lane. Now 1 stroke behind Cameron.
Look at that
Cooper.
leaderboard.
It's a swing of 4 strokes in round 7. We are setting up for a thrilling 8th and final round.
Oh, I'm
the
so
leading
excited.
Group will be following the leading group, and it looks like at the moment it's going to be Cameron Cooper, Matt Ansley, and Stephen Samuelson. Really, really battling it out to become champion of the New Zealand Open. As Josh Mars,
wow,
dear, where's the ball
Stay
going?
Stay right there. You better run. He wants that ball in that cup. Take your time now. Take your time. Don't give it away. Boom. Putt. I tell you what, if you're watching at home, wherever you are around the world, you've got the best seat in the house. We are live from Wellington Mini Golf Club. This
stay on.
Wow, that was on, and now it did go over. It went on top. Let's see if he has to replay this here.
I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. From my look, I think it stayed in, but
it stayed in. It was hard it's so hard to tell when you're talking about just going over that concrete. Yeah. I think at this point, go there. There you go, James. Take that one.
Oh, how excited he is, but certainly he'll take it. And
that's
now
a tough
Ansley,
result.
15. That's bouncing everywhere, and that finds a really great putt.
To me, that looked like it could have potentially been out, but as we said before, this isn't VAR. We don't have any communication with the players or the referees.
I mean,
But there.
I do feel like with some of these, with all of these humps and on these lanes, that if I'm being honest, are kind of a little unnecessary. That there should be a little bit of a benefit of the doubt.
Lane 16 now, we go to Royal St. George. Seen
Josh
this lane a
Moore
few
stepping
times.
up.
And
Couple of
in a
speed
second,
bumps
we'll
here.
be seeing that leading group we've been talking about on lane 15. But for now, it's Josh Mars on lane 16.
2 speed bumps and up and over and off the
Oh,
course.
Talking
No, that's
about
definitely
going out.
You know, that didn't even seem like it had a lot of pace to it. That just got
Nope.
unlucky bounces. That was
Yeah.
not hit that ambitiously or aggressively. I
No.
think that's just unlucky.
Well,
It's
that's where I
also
wonder.
a good example of how many golf balls could be used for a benefit.
100%.
Mars with a second putt. Good try.
Good idea.
Good try, but is he behind a hump?
I think he's behind a hump.
He's got a clear line. He may catch the edge of it,
I
but we'll see.
Don't think he has a clear line. I think he's got a
Really?
hump in the way. No. No, you're right. I think it was like
Close.
I was seeing things. I think it's out of the way. It's hard to tell. We'll have to watch how the ball moves.
Good putt.
Yeah.
Put it right in the back. Yeah, I would agree with you, Andrew, that a mini golf ball on this, I do wonder if that could take out a little bit of the bounciness on these initial
Good lead. Let's see.
putt.
Yeah, really good lead there by James McCarthy.
And we've seen other people go directly at the cup instead of like riding off the wall. And now you know why. I think that's a really good example with Josh going out. Why some people, I think Steven Samuelson really went straight at it over the first hump and try to maybe even rock it back after the second. It's a pace shot, but I think it takes the risk of going out of bounds out of play then, which is understandable. And maybe Faye will take that approach.
1 stroke separates our 2 top tier leaders, and actually 3 strokes.
No,
2
it
strokes.
looks like Faye went out as well.
2 strokes here.
I think she did.
Separates the top 3. So this is a really, really very close match right now.
And it looks like Faye went out as well. She did not take that front door approach on this one to take out of bounds and play. And yeah, when you see these lanes and this happening, it really demonstrates how difficult and tricky this course is and just mentally challenging. Where I talked about earlier, you just go from lanes where it's like an ace is a strong possibility to an ace is not a possibility at all, and back and forth. That's mentally a lot in thinking about the game that you got to hold on to. And then for 8 rounds, Faye with a temp for 2.
Got to play this one off the rail.
Get in there.
Oh, that was
Good
well
attempt.
done. Well
Really
done.
good effort.
Yeah.
Very tricky. Different ways to play that one. Certainly you can backdoor it, or you can play those little mounds. And Faye did the best she could on that one. As we head now, lane 17. This is Firestone.
Like to shout out Michael Broadhead, finished his final round with -1 overall. Good on him.
Yeah, really.
Oh no,
good
wait,
there.
that's
As
7.
Josh
Never
Mars
mind.
plays, 17, just keep your eye on lane 15 in the top left. Our leading group, Stephen Samuelson, Cameron Cooper, Matt Ansley, will be there very shortly. Josh Mars, though, first on lane 17.
I mean, 15, it could change. That
It really could.
It could be tied by the time we come out of it, and Steven Samuelson could make up some ground too. I mean, if he gets a 2 and the others get 3s, he's all of a sudden with Matt 1 stroke off the lead. It's really going to be tight going into that final round, and we're going to be watching a lot of them, I have a feeling.
2 strokes.
Come on here, James.
Great,
Come
got
on.
it. He finally gets it.
Yeah, put it in.
Right.
He actually went down in
Put
that depression there
in.
and got the bank off of that. That was an unusual shot. You actually have to hit the edge of that depression that's closest to us on the bottom left
So
of your
lane
screen.
15, Samuel
find it.
Stevenson. Great shot.
Yeah, really good
Steven
shot there.
Samuelson?
Samuel Stevenson.
I've almost said that so many times too. I
call him
was waiting
Superman.
for it to happen.
Very, very well done. It's up that top tier on lane 15, the top left-hand section of your screen. This for par. very, very important too, as it could easily become a multi-stroke swing on this particular lane at any point in time.
Yeah, and Matt Ansley aced 14, so he's now tied with Cameron Cooper going
Wow.
into 15. Yeah.
Wow.
So
This
this
is
is
truly
crucial now.
fantastic.
Cameron Cooper right here on 15. He's currently tied for the lead after 5-stroke swing in this round.
He's
Can he get
down.
up the hill?
He does.
Yes.
Well done.
Meanwhile, Josh Mars behind the horseshoe on 18.
Come on,
Cooper
Josh.
will
Show us how
certainly
it's
be
done.
very happy here to walk away with a 2 on 15.
Absolutely.
Haven't seen a 2 from this angle yet that I can recall. For some reason, this is just tricky. You have to be right in
Put
the
it in,
back of the
Josh.
cup.
Especially
Do
open
it.
par for Josh.
Do it.
It is.
That's
Okay,
it, guys.
meanwhile, Matt Ansley currently on 3 under, now on
Jeez.
lane 15. He aced it before here last year, and the so-called ace heard around the world. Can he do it again? Matt Ansley on lane 15.
Uh-oh.
Doesn't look
Big
that
trouble.
good.
Big trouble. Got caught up there on the railing. Didn't get the right bounce, and he left himself all the way down. His ball is not up on the top tier, and this is going to be challenging. There's a good chance he's going to drop at least 1 stroke here.
Well,
seen
he
him make
needs
it.
this to keep his share of the lead. So
It's
this
tough.
critical now to keep a share of the lead. Matt Ansley on 15 is Faye Ansley. Yep, on 18.
Question is, does he go front door or back door on this one, Tom?
I believe last time he played that on the left edge and put it in for a 2 from a fairly similar spot. I think this was when I'm saying last time. I think when we were watching his group yesterday.
Matt Ansley for par and a tough 12-footer up the hill. He's up, and he lips it.
And
Good
that
effort, though.
very little difference between him making that and that just barely
I think
missing.
it was too much
Really
speed.
good line.
Little too much speed on that, and he may have had it.
Yeah, and you don't want to short it on a putt like that. That'd be the
can't-
worst case scenario, that it comes back to your feet and then you're all of a sudden taking a long one. So he knows, though, that
It's all right.
he is really charging this round and putting Cameron on defensive with a 4-stroke swing in this round, and then a 5 or a a 2-stroke or 1-stroke swing last round. I mean, that's big.
Players now hanging out on lane 15. They're waiting. There may be a little bit of a backup on 16 now. Our camera on the bottom left is currently on lane 18.
Well, it should be clear. There's only 3 players left out on the course.
Yeah.
So they might be looking at scores or ruling
they're
or something like that.
Probably waiting for Steven Samuelson to play right now.
Yes,
he's
that'd
on
be it,
16.
yeah.
On lane 16, yep.
And one thing that I noticed on the scoreboard that was a real positive move for James McCarthy. He's 4 strokes off of 4th place in Josh Mars, and more importantly, with that ace that we saw, he got his score back into the red. He moved out of the black, and I feel like mentally that's got to help him a little bit in going into that final round, knowing one of those lanes, 17, that really tough, 5th round yesterday, that 17 and 8 just completely kicked his butt. That getting an ace on that, it's got to feel really, really good, and hopefully he can kind of charge back in there and at the very least give Josh a real fight to get into 4th, because he'll be teamed up with him again. So they'll be head to head, and they'll know that they're going to be in close competition for that positioning. And it'll be great to see them and James Goatley. That's a heck of a pairing, and they all can really, based on their last round, make some moves in either direction that would shift their final position.
So the story is dynamic, and it's unfolding fast here. We're towards the end of the 7th round at the 2024 New Zealand Open, live from Wellington, the mini golf club, Lower Hutt in New Zealand. Weather is cooperating, a little bit of a wait right now. You can see Matt Ansley on the top section of your screen on the top left. In the background on the bottom left, you can see lanes 17 and 18 in the foreground. And only 3 strokes, now 4, with
Yes.
Steven Samuelson, who
Samuelson
bogeyed.
is dropping on 16. I'm sure that's what Andrew is going to jump it in as we're seeing the scores refresh. That it's really dynamic. Literally, as you were saying that,
Yeah.
a stroke shifted.
Really kind of exciting action. So if you just joined us and just tuned in, wherever you are on your favorite device to our live stream right now, you've picked a perfect time. We're going to be entering the 8th round, and it is tight as can be here in New Zealand. So stay right where you are. We're bringing you all the action live through one more final round as the action unfolds. Dave Vida, Tom Loftus, Andrew Edmonds, and this is pretty exciting, I got to admit. See the groupings now on the 18th lane, just looking to see how this story unfolds now with Cameron Cooper, Matt Ansley, and Steven Samuelson. They'll be joining us here shortly on lane 18, and you'll see all the action as we pick it up live here momentarily.
And Cameron Cooper has dropped on lane 16. Matt Ansley, with 16 still to play, is back to having a share of the lead. For those who watched last year, I'm sure it's feeling like deja vu all over again. Matt versus Cameron, as we're getting towards the end with the scores just going up and down. Either one of them could take home the championship. Of course, as we said, if Cameron does it, he will become the first person ever to win 3 WMF World Adventure Golf Tour events.
And you know, at the start of today's rounds, round 6, I think Cameron had a 4-stroke lead at one point. Is that correct? About 4 strokes. So
I think
now,
so. That sounds right.
Yeah, now it's dwindled down to an even tie between Matt and Cameron, and Stevenson right in the thick of things. Josh Mars not too far behind, only 7 strokes away. So, yeah, we've seen some interesting happenings on this course in just one round.
Did you call him Stevenson again?
Yes.
We're calling him Stevenson Samuelson or Samuelson Steven. It's those double first name where you have a surname that also sounds like a first name.
I'm gonna call him Steve Sam, just for short.
Sammy Steve.
Sammy Steve, Stevie Sam.
Stevie Sam.
Oh, it's all good.
Stevie Sammy.
Looks like we have Steven Samuelson finishing up around lane 17 on the background there on the lower left. You can see him walking to the tee box on 18. That leaves Cameron Cooper now putting on the very short.
Maybe getting a
lane
coaching
17. There it is right now. You can see his
fellow
shot.
Aussie there. Josh is cheering him on, pumping him up. They traveled over there together. Steven, 3 years a pro and really been rising up the ranks in Aussie mini golf. And
aced there? He may have aced it. Pretty close. I'm not sure. We'll see in a second. It's possible he could have aced.
He did not. He did not
ace. Okay. I saw some fist pumps there.
I think it was Josh, pumping everybody up.
Cameron Cooper did.
He did ace it.
Cameron Cooper did ace it. So Cameron Cooper moves to being 1 stroke in the outright leadership position. Matt was lane 17 still to play. And Matt will get a 2. So it's up and down, really. Cameron Cooper now with a clear 1-stroke lead over Matt Ansley and with a clear 3-stroke lead over Steven Samuelson, who we're seeing now on lane 18. Steven Samuelson currently on even par for his round.
And that's a fine round, too. Staying even par is great. It's a good kick there, but still going to be short.
Testy putt. We've seen a lot of people miss this, too, on lane 18 when you're that far out. This one's just really tricky, really no 2 ways about it that getting a 2 on this lane is really a good score, and that's what he got.
Yeah.
Finishes on that putt.
Dead
even.
On
that putt, you got the back door too to utilize if you need it.
And again, if you look at the difference between Steven and Cam Cooper, it's lane 8, where he dropped 3 strokes.
Cameron Cooper now currently on 2 strokes over par in the lead by 1.
2 strokes. Oh yeah, over par this round. Ooh, I don't know if that horseshoe is
going to be close.
hanging out. He doesn't look too bothered by it. He might just, even if he is, he might
Play
just
back
try a
door if he needs
rollback
to.
shot.
Yep. Good
Nope.
putt.
He had a
So,
line.
so he'll remain 2 over for his round, 2 under for the tournament. Now trailing Cameron by 1 stroke here is now Matt Ansley. He's currently on 2 under for his round. So very good round. If he aces here, he can tie the lead. It's Matt Ansley on lane 18.
Got good pace. Oh, he's got a long tester here. He's
Tell you what, all
not,
three of those guys, that speed hump just prevented them from getting it anywhere close to the putt to the hole.
and we've seen people roll back to all the way back to that hump too, where they've
I
gotten
know.
too aggressive and rolled around. So it's a tough one to
Good
finish
putt.
on, but
Wow.
we are
Good
going to
putt
go
there.
in 2 strokes separating first through third. Cameron Cooper -2, Matt Ansley -1, and Steven Samuelson +1. And if you look at last year's scores, as I had been doing in advance of this, the top scorers, Matt Ansley and Cam Cooper, were respectively +9 and +8 overall, if I was looking at those scores right. So if you look at that leaderboard, James McCarthy, if he shoots a -1 this round, he is going, or -2 this round, he's going to shoot the same 8-round total as the winner last year. So you're seeing the scores come way down. And
Wow,
I
that's
do know
crazy.
that last year, especially that final round, it was just coming down and raining really hard. So I guess maybe that's probably part of it, that the weather was just really, really rough stuff last year. But some just phenomenal putting and just a leveling up. We're going to have a heck of a final round here.
So after 7 rounds, you can see the leaderboard on the top right hand of your screen. Cameron Cooper with a 1-stroke lead over Matt Ansley, a 3-stroke lead over Steven Samuelson. Josh Mars behind it +6. James McCarthy going in the opposite direction, had a really difficult round 7. James Goatley, Patrick Holla, and James Anley all under
John
+20.
Ansley.
Yes, that's what I said. What did I say?
Said James. Too many Jameses.
Yeah, there's just too many Jameses. What are you gonna do? John Ansley, yes. Michael Broadhead still in the top 12. Paul Kerrigan and Paul O'Connell. He's having a really rough time right now, but I give him credit for hanging in there regardless.
Well, I'd hope they'd be top 12. That's right. We are up to, what do we have, 13 players in the pro division today? Yes.
That's correct, yes. 13 players.
And the groups have now been reordered in reverse leaderboard order. I don't think it's any surprise to anyone, but just to confirm,
Yes.
we will be following Steven Samuelson and Matt Ansley and Cameron Cooper in the final round, the 8th round out of 8 here. And so far, it's Cameron Cooper with the narrowest of 1-stroke leads over Matt Ansley. Steven Samuelson still in it, just 3 strokes behind Cameron Cooper. There isn't going to be much of a break at all. So do stick with us, and that final round will be starting very shortly. The players have now been reordered into reverse leaderboard order. There wasn't too much changing around, only a little bit really, as James McCarthy moved down and Josh Mars moved up.
Matt Ansley's the story.
Matt Ansley versus Cameron Cooper is the story, but there could be a surprise twist in the end in the form of Steven Samuelson.
Kind of a 3-way race. It's I would say Josh has got a lot. He's going to need help on both directions. He's got to really play out of his shoes, and then he needs help from above from 3 other players to kind of go backwards a little bit. So that's going to be tough for him. But Steven Samuelson right where he needs to be. Matt Ansley obviously in right behind Cameron there in the pole position. So it's going to be a race still going to be a race, and still be fun to watch. Can't wait.
And it's interesting because I think before the tournament we were talking about who would be our favorites, and the top 6 I think was exactly who we had talked about. Just some of the top New Zealand players, as well as Steven Samuelson and Josh Mars from Australia, and they're proving us right. Just lots of really top level competition, from Oceania showing up for the New Zealand Open and playing really well. And kudos to them. Got some of the first groups out. Whoa, maybe they might have been practicing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was some kid practicing.
I mentioned yesterday I had a chance to play with James in the World Adventure Golf Tour Finals in Bolingbrono. I was really kind of rooting for him. I was hoping to see him do a little bit better, but if he keeps his wits about him and if he plays really well, he might be able to snag either a fourth or third place position. It's very still possible, I suppose, that he could make it all the way up to third, but certainly fourth position is certainly within his grasp. But he's got to stay present. He can't let what's going on between his ears affect him, and that's really the game he's playing right now. I think you got to keep your emotions in check, where it can easily get out of play. A little ace right there for Paul O'Connell.
Lovely green jacket. Hey, Paul, you make a better door than a window.
Yeah. Paul, we appreciate it. It looks like the Hulk right there on lane number 1.
It's a great jacket, though. I mean, if he wasn't wearing as good of a jacket as that, I would have been a little disappointed. But I think we have Emmy coming up here on 1.
Emmy Steedman. We don't see her on the leaderboard, so she must have.
She would be in the pro women category. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Just going right for it. Unconventional approach. But let's see, was I correct? It looks like that's pizza on pants. And
it could be tortilla chips. That could be tortilla chips.
Oh, and I wish that. Oh, and it looks like she's got some red hair too. I like the flair. I got to say, personality. Yeah, that's having some fun out there.
10 plus. It's either pizza or tortilla chips. I'm not sure which one. In either case, we're just in
someone in the comments, please. Let us know.
Do a close up of those pants. That'd be great.
Next up will be Paul Kerrigan and Michael Broadhead. We just saw Emmy Steedman, of course, who was the novice women's winner, so automatically entered the pro competition.
One thing that's been very consistent over the 2 days of play here in New Zealand has been the constant wind. It has been breezy. Those gusts have been sustained. And I'm sure if it hasn't affected the ball, it's certainly affected some of the psyche of the players this weekend. But nevertheless, we've had some amazing putts from our players today. Paul Kerrigan now in lane 1, Pebble Beach. Good effort.
Good effort. Came back a little bit. Hoping Michael Broadhead can keep it going. He's one of only 2 players last round to be under par. So, wow, unconventional approach.
That was definitely different.
But 35 last round for him. So kudos to him. And a
trying
good
to figure out
start
what's on his shirt. Can't tell if that was a music group or what that
was.
Looked
maybe like a 1990s Snoop Dogg doggy style shirt.
It looked great. I was hoping for a close up of it. We didn't get one though. That's all right.
Next up will be Faye Ansley, John Ansley, and Patrick Hodder, who have been entertaining us all weekend. So Faye and John,
gotta say hello one more time, Patrick. Gotta say it. Come on, ring that bell for us.
Hello.
Faye Ansley currently on 21 over par. John Ansley currently on 19 over par. So I suspect there might be a little bit of competition between Faye.
It might be a very quiet ride home later.
It may be.
That's very possible. Might be a very quiet ride home.
we shall see. I think John will be a little bit. I think depending on the results, I could see John being a little bit more obnoxious to Faye than vice versa. But they all, as I mentioned yesterday, they all play. The Ansley family plays on the Putt 18 putting mat, and they play together quite a few times. Or they'll stream their rounds together on this rolled out carpet, and they give each other a lot of grief when they're playing, and it's really good fun. They seem to have a good sense of humor about it. So There's some dynamics there that could be really fun, and I think if the future budget allows it, I think a hot mic on the Ansley family, maybe leading up to and
Yes.
after the event, would be a treat for everybody. They're just a wonderful group of people that I'm really glad they could all be playing together here. John Ansley had some pretty major health scares and was a last minute real addition to this tournament, and so I think ultimately Faye is not going to be too upset if her husband does better than her, given that I think they're all pretty happy that he's playing. But
Maybe that's a good future consideration, Andrew, too. Maybe a hot mic on some of the players to get live commentating as we go around, as long as they keep it PG-13.
You know what? You know what? We used to do it. We used to clip mics onto the players, and
you probably
various
stopped for a reason.
reasons.
Yeah, I'm sure.
yeah, don't ever do that to me. That will be I've been pretty good on these feeds, but I was not having a great putt 18 round this week, and I let a couple of F-bombs and some other unsavory words come out of my mouth. It's hard, for those who know me, as hard as you can imagine it, that I might have swore a few times on a live stream.
I can't imagine it. I can't imagine.
I know. I'm pretty good when I'm mic'd up on here, but otherwise, put like a group of kids under the age of 13 on a lane next to me, and there's a very good chance that I'm going to let loose something I probably shouldn't have said. The miniest this year, where I got a 2 on a lane that is really hard to get, I definitely did that. And I was just, of course, I looked right next to me. There's like a family of 4. It's like, of course.
Well, you're tuning in right now at a great time, the 2024 New Zealand Open. It is the final round. We've gone through 7 rounds. Faye Ansley is on lane number 1 of her 8th and final round today, and it's a good one. We'll be following our leaders here shortly.
Let's go, Faye. Put it in.
With a chance at an ace almost. Gives herself a serviceable 2. I'm joined in our broadcast booth today from
Adsley.
Tom Loftus is here, Andrew Edmonds, Dave Vida.
Oh, are they playing together?
Yeah,
oh,
they are playing together.
Next to each other.
It's really going to be an interesting round here. I almost want to follow them around the course.
John doesn't get it in, leaving the door open. 2-stroke lead.
Good putt there from John. Finish up his
Nicely
par.
done, John. Let's get a wave.
Holla.
I know that Faye also watches all of these broadcasts along with John, and kudos to them for being massive supporters of adventure golf and the WMF and this tour.
A lot of fun. Great to have them aboard too as well. Really good putt there from Patrick. It leaves it just a little bit shy on the backdoor approach.
Would have liked to have seen that ace, Patrick. And yeah, just to say again, kudos to these New Zealand mini golf players who've been really amazing about participating in these WMF events. And there's not a lot that gets really close to New Zealand for these players. So I think Matt had told me that they had traveled a combined 50,000 kilometers to take part in some of these events this year and last year, including the final in Brno. And so I think that really needs to be noted, and hope there can be more ways to get the New Zealand and Oceania players involved in the competitive mini golf world. And I think some of it's just going to be finding more international events where maybe they are less focused on mini golf balls, or that there's an opportunity to play courses like Sevi's Gloucester Aces course that are equally friendly to a mini golf ball as a golf ball. I think that'll make I think it'll make it a little bit more appetizing for these players, that they just don't have those opportunities. You look at players in quite a few of the countries, US, UK, New Zealand, Australia. As much as I would love it, and probably a lot of the players would, we don't have any Ethernet, we don't have any concrete, and we don't have any felt courses. And I just don't see that changing. They're expensive to build, and there's not really, you'd have to really build an audience for it. And they all sort of require mini golf balls, which are, as I talked about yesterday, not as common in these countries. So I'm hoping that maybe there's a middle ground and finding more opportunities to engage these parts of the world with golf ball events, and also finding ways to, bridge the gaps somehow, some way. I think we're all trying to work together just to really grow the game of mini golf in all the different ways it's played. And
Sure.
would love to get more of these New Zealand and Oceania players, because they're just fun to watch and really lovely people.
You were watching the 2024 New Zealand Open. We are live here from the broadcast booth. This is the 15th and final event of the WMF World Adventure Golf Tour of the 24 season. The winner takes home a nice check. We'll get a nice trophy for the mantle. And then most of all, we'll play Portugal in May of next year. There'll be 42 of the best adventure golfers from around the globe that will convene in Portugal, Vila Moura, to face off, as we did earlier this season in the Czech Republic. My name's Dave Vida. Tom Loftus is here, along with Andrew Edmonds, bringing you the action live. We are waiting our final two groups right now. Lane number 1 on the bottom left-hand section of your screen, just to kind of give you a recap here. See the top right-hand section of your screen is where the leaderboard is. Cameron Cooper, Matt Ansley, Steven Samuelson still going to come up to play here on their final round. Right now,
James Goatley.
Let's do it.
Trying to win the battle of the Australians. It's going to need to come back and pick up a few strokes on Josh Morris.
Really, for these players, I think the interesting thing will be, can they make any movement up the leaderboard and gain more ranking points? Certainly, all of them have an opportunity to do so in this final round.
And this is a big start. This is the most aced lane, number 1. So I think all of them are hoping to kick it off with an ace.
Good chance here for James.
No,
he's
the
wrong way.
Too close to the cup. Yeah. Need to get a little bit wider, and you can see where that concrete is aimed towards the cup, and it's definitely a bit to the left as you're facing it.
And James suffering some of the setbacks in the previous rounds where things didn't go quite his way, so he's got some catching up to do, as we see Josh Mars now on the tee box on lane number 1, Pebble Beach. He's got it down the left side.
Wider.
It's coming back, and that's in for an ace.
Yeah, Josh.
Good start for Josh Mars.
Let's see something on the camera, baby. Oh, come on. Give us a look. Give us a look.
He'll give us something, I bet.
Well, he's doing exactly what he needs to do at the moment. He's currently 5 strokes behind first place. That could easily be made up in this round. We've seen between Cameron Cooper and Matt Ansley, there was a 4-stroke swing just in that previous round. Now, on the tee box in a couple of minutes will be Steven Samuelson, Matt Ansley, and Cameron Cooper. Just 1 stroke separating Cameron Cooper and Matt Ansley. 3 strokes separating Cameron Cooper to Steven Samuelson. What happened last year is an intense head-to-head battle between Cameron Cooper and Matt Ansley. Cameron Cooper just narrowly coming out on top and becoming the champion of the New Zealand Open 2023. Will we see as dramatic a battle this year? Possibly. The stage is set. Just 1 stroke separating Cameron Cooper and Matt Ansley. They'll be on the tee box in about a couple of minutes or so.
And last year, it was a 5-stroke swing. And, we were talking about Josh Mars catching Steven Samuelson. Right now, they're 4 strokes apart. So him swinging to third would not be the craziest thing in the world. I think it would be hard for Josh to move up to first at this point, being about 7 back.
Yeah.
But Steven has a chance at getting into first or dropping down as far as 4th. And Josh, he might be able to make a push even to get to second. I think first is going to maybe be a little tough, but you never know with that last group. They're going to be playing each other, and they're going to be playing aggressive.
See the leaders there in the back there. They're just waiting right now. They're trying to get 1 lane separation between the groups just so things can flow a little bit smoother, so nobody has to wait for a putt. Pacing and the timing of every putt is important and a little bit different for every single player. Some players play fast, some play slower. this whole group of people play incredibly
super
fast.
fast. They need to give like a four-lane
I know.
separation because they're just going to be on the heels of Josh, James, and James.
Here we go. You can see Steven Samuelson in the blue. You can see Cameron in the white hat and Matt in the black hat. Lane number 1, Palm Beach. Great long starting lane, about
Pebble
15
Beach.
paces. Pebble Beach. Did I say Palm Beach?
Yes, you did.
I was thinking of Florida for some reason, not California. But that's all right. 2 paces wide, it looks like from the right side where the hole is cut. They're going to look to go left of the cup and play a backdoor approach.
To Steven Samuelson to start.
Going to be a
This
little
will
too
be our
close.
featured
Yeah, a
group.
little too
Yeah,
close.
narrow.
Got to get on the other side of that crack. You want to be to the left side of that crack if you're facing that lane.
Easy 2 there. Pick up for a par there for Steven Samuelson. Good start to his 8th and final round today of the 2024 New Zealand Open.
Now, Matt Ansley trading by 1 stroke could easily turn that around on this lane. It's the final round of the New Zealand Open 2024, and Matt Ansley here, just 1 stroke behind. He's never won a WMF World Adventure Golf Tour event, despite coming so close on multiple occasions.
Good
It's the
chance
right
here.
side.
Oh, just a little bit further wide, I think. Really good pacing on that. Matt Ansley with a tap in 2 for his par.
Now, this
Not
will
a
be
lot of-
interesting now. If Cameron Cooper can get the ace, then really Matt Ansley will be trailing behind by 2 strokes. It could set a different dynamic early
Yep.
on in this final round. Difference between 1 stroke lead and a 2 stroke lead. Let's have a look. Cameron Cooper on lane 1. The final player here on lane 1.
Cameron has not got
He's
it
got a
much.
chance.
He's got a
He's got a-
chance.
Ugh.
He's only so here's an interesting thing about Cameron. He's only aced lane 1 twice, but out of the 7 rounds previously played on lane 2, because I remember noting his scores changing. He's dropped on this 3 of the 7 times. So this has not been a good lane to Cameron. This could really tighten things up. I think he really wanted to get that ace in to set the pace.
Lane 2 now, Mirfield Village. This hole bends left to right. 2 small speed bumps at the start. A lot of the players will play it over the speed bumps, which will throw off the pace and sometimes the direction. The lane will dip a little bit, about 3/4 of the way to the right of the cup there.
Still no aces on this lane so far.
And that might hold for the day. Wow, look at that thing come back. We have not seen many putts left there. We've seen them more over by that bush that's kind of on the upper half, that yellowish looking bush.
Yeah.
So a
Left
different
edge on this
position.
putt. Left edge. Careful you don't give the cup away. Firm and in.
Does not.
Good stroke.
Nice putt.
So par
Matt
again
Ansley
for
next.
Samuelson. He holds to par in his final round. Again, we're seeing most players bank it off the left side. Leave the ball a little bit short right.
They go through that ditch and come
Gotta
off.
oh,
This
that's
is
a
going to be
really-
a really nice leave if it doesn't roll
Oh,
too
look
much.
at it.
Wow.
That
And it
thing
goes
does
all the
not
way to that bush.
stop
Hey.
at all.
I thought that
Didn't
was going to
get
be
all the way
perfect.
there.
I
just
really thought that was going to be a perfect shot.
Yeah,
And
that was
this is-
textbook.
And this is where Matt had sent that note about just how many of these holes have almost volcanoes on them. They're just at a bit of a slope and hard to leave it close on some of them like this lane. Good too, though, and this is a big lane for Cameron. This has not been one that has treated him well. He's had very few lanes in this tournament that have caused him consistent trouble, and this is actually number 1 looking at all of them. He hasn't dropped on three different attempts on any lane but this. So
Cameron Cooper leading by 1 stroke, plays a double bank, 1-2. That's going to come all the way back.
it's going to come to the bush unless he gets it to sit somehow.
It's not.
Yeah, and this is a big one for him. I think mentally going into it, getting this in, I think would be big just to hold on to that 1-stroke lead. But dropping it again, that would mean this is like his worst lane of the tournament.
Good putt.
great too.
Good.
You can see his excitement, and that's
Yeah.
I mean, when you drop a lane that many times, it just to have it get in your head and then kick it out and say, nope, not today, is a
Yeah,
really good
that meant
feeling.
that meant a lot to him, and you could see that.
Yeah.
Let's go to Inverness now. Lane 3, straight and narrow. Again, all these lanes are named after famous golf courses around the world. Inverness here, lane 3, straight and narrow. The green slopes slightly uphill. There's a depression on
and
the
you can
right side.
You can see the debris with the wind, with
Yeah.
really coming off. It reminds me of there was like a lane on Mossy Creek where they just kind of let it sit on parts of the lane because no one played a good chunk of it and there's no way to really avoid it.
Gotta stay to the left side here, our left, players
It's
right
Stephen
side.
Samuelson now, currently training Cameron Cooper by 3 strokes.
This is a
chance here.
highly aced lane. Oh.
You see how close it is. You stay to the right side of the cup there. You pick your line, get that bank off the railing, and that was almost an ace. Good
Yeah.
job
Dave,
for Stephen Samuelson.
Dave, I've got a fun fact for you. Despite the
Fun
fact the top 3 players' names don't start with J, the rest of the players and the rest of the players in the top 8, 4 of them, their name starts with J, 2 of them being James. So the confusion of the James, John, and Josh, very, very easy. I'd looked at that. It's like, wow, there are a lot of names that start with J, but not our top 3.
That's why you're
Fun
the
fact.
statistical correspondent. There we go.
That's right.
Fun fact that no one
Matt
asked for.
Ansley now trailing by 1 stroke. Would love an ace
This
here.
this looks good.
Oh,
it
it finds
finds
it,
it.
gets it.
Oh,
He gets it. The ball is
Wow.
now in Cameron Cooper's court. An ace here to hold on to his outright lead. If he can't make the ace, he'll go into a share of the lead with Matt Ansley. That's important lane here for Cameron Cooper. Would love an ace.
Wow, the drama is crazy right now. This is such a great tournament.
yeah. Matt right now is trying to
This
finish.
has got a
with-
chance. Oh, that's going
No.
hard right. Hold on. Needs a little
Soft.
bit more. Yeah, a little soft.
I was going to say, if Matt can go under par this round, that will be 4 rounds in a row going under par after going par or above it, between 36 and 39 being in the red in Bond Golf for his first 4. So he might be in a groove, and, Cam's going the other direction. Cam has last 3 rounds in the red. So
Co-leaders at
see the
-2.
scores
Yeah,
have
co-leaders
registered.
-2.
Yeah. Matt Ansley and Cameron Cooper are tied, both of them 3 strokes ahead of Stephen Samuelson, who's now playing.
And this is where we were talking about that if Steven really starts to press, seeing those guys separate, where Josh Mars could potentially catch up. But
Yeah.
I don't know if we expect that with Steven. He's played really solid.
Lane
Looking
4
for
is
an ace here.
Cherry Hill, the S curve. See how the lane kind of curves as an S, plays off the bank on the right. We see the ball in the, usually right around that area or even to the cup. Got about a 2-footer here to clean up for his par. Trick is you don't want to be short and have a longer putt here. Oh dear.
And that's what that was just
Yeah.
an unforced error. You can't even really say anything else about that. But, might even be nerves, I think.
Definitely
Sure.
push it right, and that's not what was intended.
Opens the door for Josh Mars to come in third. Josh Mars currently 1 under after 7 rounds. Now just 3 strokes separating Josh Mars and Stephen Samuelson. But now Matt Ansley following an ace in the previous lane.
Starting to become a 2-horse race here. He's
Yeah.
going to play it off the right bank. That's coming back. It's going to be on the high side, and that's
More
not
like
a gimme.
More like a
Nice.
2 Kiwi race.
2 Kiwi. Yeah, that's fine. We do Kiwis. I like Kiwis.
I do too.
This is not a gimme here. This is
No.
this is a straight putt. However, gotta find enough pace in it to get it there.
Bingo.
Yeah, great shot.
Yeah, so
Clean
it
up.
could be top 2 is, who's the best Kiwi, and 3 and 4 fighting for the best Aussie.
Yeah.
No, that's very possible. Cameron
Cooper now. Currently tied for the lead with Matt Ansley. On even par for his round so far.
Makes it a little bit
Nicely
wider
over
to the right.
bridge.
This has got a chance. Ooh, just
Really
a little bit
good
short
luck.
there too.
Yeah, he's just playing a tiny bit tentative at the moment, right?
He's protecting. I think he's playing in that protective mode, which he's kind
Yeah.
of been in for a bit, just because he's really held that lead. And it almost feels opposite of last year, where I think Matt is in charging mode, and even had said as much in a message to me, because he had been in that position where he was ahead and saw Cam do that. I think he's now mimicking his opponent from the previous year.
Lane 5, we're on Oakmont now. See Steven Samuelson already on the right side of the tee box, hitting it right over the cup.
Oh,
I don't think he
yeah.
wanted to do that. I don't think
No.
he planned on that ball hitting the cup there. I think he was trying with that pacing a backdoor approach. Actually want to be on the left side here.
First group have made it to lane 15. Well, Steven Samuelson looks at a tricky second putt after hitting the hole.
And this is we were talking about, that he's really got to protect that third place finish, because as we alluded to, that could make a big difference. Josh already had finished third in a tournament, so he's already looking at a position where if he wanted to go to Portugal for the finals, that's looking very likely with a third place finish in the Australian Masters and then top 4 or 5 finish here.
Matt Ansley now also hits the hole.
Wow. Crazy. You can see that this lane is the up and over that lengthy ramp there. One channel to the cup. Both players hitting the cup on the initial backdoor approach, not intended by either player, setting up a little bit of a tricky second putt.
Ooh,
and
and that was a little
Just
spicy in the cup.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit of adrenaline there, a little bit of nerves from Matt. Probably the first poor shot we've seen from him, that tee shot here in this round. Cameron Cooper has a chance for an ace here to go back into the outright lead.
See, most players hug the left side of that rail.
Yep.
Let's see if that happens here. No, he's gluing too close too as well. That's treacherous second putt. Going to be right edge all the way in. Not a putt I think that he's seen a lot of, but let's see what happens here. To maintain -2 and a share of the lead.
And you got to feel somewhat for Steven in this group, because to say that Cam and Matt have played mini golf with each other a few times is an understatement, and they know each other's games. They know their mental approach, and they know what they need to be doing to keep up with them. And it's probably some intense energy from both of them, knowing their just high level of competitiveness.
Yeah. Steven's definitely the outsider at the moment, isn't he? He just needs to focus on his game.
Yeah, maybe it's a good thing too. Let those two guys really bash it out, and maybe he can still sneak up. I mean, still only 4 strokes. 5 strokes was the comeback last year from Cam to beat Matt in the final round.
Up to Bay Hill now.
Got a troublemaker on 15.
2 humps here for Steven Samuelson. He makes it almost through. It redirects his ball. It gives him a great
be the first ace on this lane.
Wow.
These last 3 will be the ones to determine whether this lane goes aceless. So hold on to your socks, folks.
We've seen it close, haven't we? We've seen it close a fair few times.
I think we had Faye have a really close one too.
James McCarthy was close.
That's right. It was James.
So now we have Matt, who's setting up on the far right side. He's going to take it down the right side. Also redirects off the bumps.
Oh, and he got a nice kick, and that's why I think he got really excited when he saw that weird sideways kick, because this angle's really hard to get at, and he was getting a sharper angle. It's an interesting lane that no one has aced it, but there's as many 2s on it as the last lane. There's 116 2s, and no one really did any worse than a 4. So it's an odd one for no one to ace, but you can kind of see it's downhill, splitting through there. Got a lot going on to really keep the ball on any sort of consistent path.
Last chance for an ace here. Oh, he would love it. Let me tell you. Cameron Cooper
redirects. This has got a chance.
Painfully close. And I think this is why we're seeing a lot of twos. I think this one might have some crowning on the cup as well that is keeping the ball from finding the bottom. But
I think you're right.
that lane and lane 2 are closed, and we have 0 aces for the tournament on them unless we somehow go to a playoff. So keep that in your head. That could very well happen, and lane 2 could come into play.
3 identical putts there on Bay Hills. We head to lane number 7 right now. Cypress Point is lane 7, and up and around. It's a hard bend right to left, then uphill to the tier. You can see the rock formation that comes into play.
The first chance really for big danger in the round. The ball can run back down the hill. If you catch a rock, it happened last year.
Yep.
So both Matt and Cameron will certainly be looking to escape the danger. First, though, Stephen Samuelson, currently trailing by 4 strokes.
You can go ditch to ditch to the left and the right of the cup.
Yeah, that's true as well.
We saw that yesterday.
He's up. He gets it to the top tier. It's
Through
going to roll right around, though.
Is it going to go in the other one, though? It looks like it's above it. It's hard to tell with those shadows. It looks like he's got a straight line.
Not a bad leave
looking for
there.
The rebound bar, the rebound rod.
So that's not a bad leave, and he'll have a chance here to stay right where he's at right now at +1 for his round.
Do you have him? Yeah, +1 for his round.
Yeah.
Nice one.
And no movement from Josh Mars, who's training him. Josh Mars remains on 1 under after 10. So Josh Mars currently 3 strokes behind Stephen Samuelson.
He's actually at even now. He must have dropped on 10. Yeah. Because I'm showing 11 even.
Yeah. Matt Ansley now,
or 11,
lane 7, Cypress Point. He's looking to rebound. He takes a very aggressive putt. Almost finds the ace.
Wow.
So close. Wow.
This is what we were talking about. Now, it'll be interesting to see what Cam does here because Matt is he's got a lot of momentum going for him right now.
He's
3
playing
great rounds.
And I like it. He's really going for those aces.
I think he knows I mean, he might have it in his head from last year, too, that he really was playing to protect the wind. And, yeah, he was playing in the rain, but I think he wants this badly.
Yeah, 100%. Cameron Cooper now, currently with a share of the lead.
That's a good line.
Wow, jeez. These guys are coming so close.
Wow.
This is why if you've been watching this whole feed, you saw some of the groups of players a little bit down the leaderboard to give you a sense of where really good players can end up in trouble. And then you watch the top players, you're like, okay, this is some serious skilled putting and why they're leading a group of talented putters.
Let's head to Wentworth right now. This is where a lot of the drama unfolded here.
Stephen Samuelson has got to be feeling a bit under pressure after seeing those 2 putts. Lane 8, things can happen on lane 8.
This is the one that's literally thrown him out of and he hit it through there.
Good shot.
Oh!
Good try there for
wanted
Stephen
that.
Samuelson. Look at the ball go all the way back down. Now he's got a super challenging second putt. If he wants to stay +1, he's got to make this putt. And this again, lane 8 is so filled with drama. There's so much that can happen, as we've seen over the previous 7 rounds.
And this killed him 2 rounds ago. This is where he took his only double or triple drop on a hole. He only had single drops on any given hole previous to that, but he had a 5 on that one, and that's the tournament right there.
Right edge on this one. It's going to come back around. Let's see. Starts it out right, comes back. Oh, it just didn't come back enough.
Now he needs to keep his head on this one. We've seen this lane get away from people, and not just him. It has some of the worst stats of the tournament are on this lane. I think people get in that ditch. They go back and forth. And, he'll take a 3 there. And
I tell you what, if there's a good bogey, that was it right there. That was a good bogey.
Meanwhile, Josh Mars with back-to-back drops. He has a 3 on lane 11 and lane 12. So for now, Stephen Samuelson's 3rd place is looking pretty safe.
I'd say
5 strokes separating him and Josh Mars. Matt Ansley now on the treacherous lane 8.
He gets through that little ditch.
That's
Oh,
smart.
that's a
Really
really
smart
nice
Good
leave.
shot.
Just a smart play going through the ditch. The depression there on the right side of our screen leaves himself a two-footer here for his serviceable par.
I'm going to blame Andrew for me using the term ditch on that because I think it was the first person I heard on a feed talking about those little depressions, and it makes sense. It's kind of a unpleasant place to go, and you feel like if you put your car in a ditch, it doesn't feel good.
Or I call it a green bunker, either way.
Yeah,
I like the ditch, though. It's funny.
big.
He's over the ramp.
He's-
He's down the ditch, and he's going to stay down there.
Oh,
Oh, dear.
no.
Yeah, this is where the problem is going to come into play right now.
And
This
this
is a
looks-
treacherous
And looks
second
like
putt.
he's not going to get a ton of relief. I think it would put him in the middle of the hill, so I think he's going a little bit more sideways, but I don't think he's going to have a ton of relief out of there. So this is big.
This
This
is
is what
critical. This is
James
critical
McCarthy.
right now.
James McCarthy had the problem down here multiple times.
It's
So Cameron Cooper needs this. He needs to get this in two. He needs to sink the ball here to remain tied for the lead. And we've seen before how difficult it can be. A really critical putt right here. This could decide the whole trajectory of the tournament. Cameron Cooper.
Right center firm, and he's in.
Boom.
Oh, wow.
Woo!
Boom. Nice job, Cameron.
Pressure putt. Pressure putt.
Yeah.
Cam Cooper showing why he has been leading a good chunk of this tournament. And that was the first real putt that I think we saw the potential of him losing his lead. I don't know that he's been out of the lead for quite some time. There was a moment, I think, right before lane 8 yesterday with James McCarthy in round, what would that have been? I think that was round 5 that James was like within a stroke of the lead. And I think that's as close as anybody's got before this tie that we have right now.
That brings us to lane number 9, Olympic, a long, lengthy lane. You'll see probably close attempts here at aces as they backdoor it. That just a little bit short there, but a really great effort there from Steven Samuelson. Plus 3 for his tournament.
Patrick Holla on 15, once again doing the backdoor shot and taking that 3 on 15.
Yeah. Good try there. Matt Ansley now starts on the left side of lane number 9, the Olympic. Long, lengthy channel all the way down, guarded by a couple of humps. Backdoor is the best approach on this lane. See if he can get it to the cup. Matt Ansley is coming down. Passes on the right. It's got a chance. It's in.
Oh, wow.
He's
Right when he needed it.
He is charging. Matt Ansley is putting the pressure on Cam, and I am sure Cam is quite familiar with it.
Yeah.
Now, psychological putt here coming up for Cameron.
Needs
He's
to
down the lane.
keep his share of the lead.
He's going right. He gets a nice bounce, but it's going to be short.
Oh, it's good. Good attempt.
Wow.
So for the first time in a long time, Tom, maybe you can remember how long, Matt Ansley is now in the outright leading position.
I can't honestly remember. It would have had to have been some point.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the leaderboard. I mean, Cam started out with a 33, then a 39, and then a 32. And after those 3 rounds, you don't see a lot of green.
I think this could be the first time in the entire tournament Matt Ansley, right when he needs to be, is in the outright leading position. And you can
halfway.
see James McCarthy.
So he was tied after
down.
2 with James McCarthy and Josh Morris. They all were at 72. That looks like probably about as close as it was, but it doesn't even necessarily mean anything more in the lead.
We're halfway through the action now. The 2024 New Zealand Open of the final round. Anything's going to happen. The 15th and final event of the World Adventure Golf Tour. It's a par putt right there for Steven Samuelson. And now Matt Ansley with a 1-stroke lead as we head to the back 9. Anything can happen. The drama is clearly unfolding.
And we left 15 before James McCarthy had a tough second shot. So I hope we look up and see he got it too. And maybe that's just us and our cameras
Matt's
not
starting
helping.
far right, and he's going to take the bank, but a very well done
Great lead.
lag. Good lag putt right there for Matt Ansley, not taking any chances with this steep uphill grade and sloping hole.
If he can hold on to this, what a crazy, even if he just shoots under par to go all par or 39 up to 39 his first 4 rounds and then shoot under par the last 4 rounds is just really impressive.
Sure is. That's a good point.
Cameron Cooper now this to get back into sharing the lead.
He starts out on the right, gets a nice
on.
bank, and he hits an ace.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
I can't believe what we're seeing right now.
I think he's stunned. I think he's stunned. I don't think he just hit an ace.
That is like we have less than 10 aces. Surprisingly, we have a good chunk of aces on lane 10. I would not have thought.
I think it's a tough lane to ace. I got to be honest. There's too much trouble on it.
8 of them. So it's a little bit more aceable than the last bunch of lanes, but that's crazy.
How about we go to 11 now? This is Harbortown. This is the
one
rock
that's not been
bunker in the middle. Yeah, you got to pick your lane here, left or right side. 1, 2.
Oh.
That is woefully short.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one, and he's given a little bit more. Well, Josh Mars is up to +1, so Josh is not taking advantage of the opportunity.
I think Steven took the right approach with a double bank. It just didn't have enough energy on it. This now for 2. Does he have enough?
Oh, no.
Cuts the edge.
So he gives one up to Josh. Josh will be within 3 strokes again. So.
And the thing to remember with Josh is he has played lane 15 as well.
He did.
Yes, that's true.
Consider as the par 4. So.
That's true.
Could be a chance for some movement. I think time has run out, though, we can say, for Steven to win this tournament. We are now watching Matt Ansley versus Cameron Cooper. And, I mean, who can win? Who knows?
Lane 11 of the final round right now. Matt Ansley now on Harbortown. Going to choose the left side. 1, 2.
No.
Oh, that was so close.
And
such a great pace.
Another bold prediction, but I'm going to say that Matt Ansley ends up winning the battle of the Ansley family. And unless something crazy happens, John Ansley is coming in second for the Ansleys. He's got a 6-stroke lead into lane 18.
Cameron
Cooper now just coming off of an ace on lane 10.
You'd love to have
There's
this one.
There's 2. He's got a chance. He's got enough. Oh, that is so good.
Oh,
wow. Cameron Cooper just leaving it a little bit short there. Serviceable 2. We go on to 12. The final round of the New Zealand Open. Wow, this is unprecedented. A 2-way tie and a 2-way run for the top.
And Cam's got to be feeling good.
I don't know what it is about this tournament. Every year, it brings the drama without fail.
And for Cam, he's got to be feeling good right now. This is his first round where he's in the green in the under par. I mean, obviously a lot of lanes to go, but I think mentally that's got to be feeling good as they're stepping up here to 12, where again another lane, no aces, and we might be closing the door on the third lane of the day that we have no aces, but we'd sure like to see that change. Come on, make it happen.
Close, really close.
Oh, so close, Steven. So close. And it's interesting, again, a different approach. We have some that are really riding that wall around and some of them that are taking some rebound shots that are kicking off the back wall at that angle. It's a lane that's obviously confounded everybody as far as the ace goes. And so you'd expect different approaches.
It's kind of interesting. All the players here in this grouping giving themselves plenty of space as they do their thing and compete for the top spot. Now Matt Ansley up and around.
It's looking
got
good.
A chance.
Yeah.
Nice bank and a good leave there for 2.
I think on that shot, it'd be really hard to get the right angle coming off the wall unless you were somehow
Very
kicking
true.
it off that wall and coming off left of the cup. If you're going right of the cup, the wall is not the right angle for it to go back in as far as my eye sees it, but
Sure.
I'm not out there hitting the ball.
Lane 12, final round in New Zealand. This is Cameron.
Well,
He's
that's
up. And a
better
vicious
angle.
putt.
Oh,
Let me tell you,
we
though, that
close
was a
the
little bit of a
door.
tricky putt here.
Close the door on 12. No aces on 12 and 6 and 2 for the entire tournament unless we go to a playoff.
That'd be
You do
quite
have to put that
something to
asterisk.
get to
You do have to put that asterisk in there.
I mean, it'd be funny if we get 2 aces on 2 because they both match aces in a playoff.
Cameron Cooper for par. And it's in.
It's in.
So no change at the top of the leaderboard. It's still Matt Ansley tied with Cameron Cooper on 3 under for the tournament. Stephen Samuelson and Josh Mars separated by 3 strokes. So that could be interesting as well to see who finishes in 3rd place.
And Josh is on 18 already at a +1. So you got some really tough lanes ahead for Stephen, and that would be big if he has any desire to go to Portugal. He really needs to hold on to the top 3 because Josh is going to get an invite as it is right now. But funny enough, we could see no new real, faces on that leaderboard really in the top 50 if Josh moves up to 3rd.
Lane 13 is Royal Melbourne. You're going to see a right to left play off the rail and back and almost an ace from Stevenson. Wow.
And you could see the others in his group. I think at this point, I think Cam and Matt are probably mentally battling each other out, but I think on some level they're hoping well for their guest from Australia who they're playing with that I don't think they really see as competition at this point with 7 strokes separating them and him. He was really close, but it's hard when you have these people that are just really dialed in like these 2 are under par.
Now it's Matt Ansley. He's up, and he's almost through the opening there and almost finds an ace, too, as well.
They're so locked in right now, aren't they?
They really are. Every player figuring it out very dynamically and able to get the ball to a very serviceable second putt, and that is very timely for everybody right now.
And 9 aces on this lane. It's one of the top 3 ace lanes left. The next one being the most aced of the holes left.
Starting off the left side, we'll play to the right side around the rail.
Oh, you're going to
Does this have a chance?
Oh, those leaves. We've seen so many people with some really tricky 2 putts, and these 2 were it's just clockwork. They are just putting on a show, and I don't know, Andrew, you get it. Andrew's got the deja vu right now.
Yeah.
Seen this before.
I think at this point, lane 15 is going to start playing on their minds. They'd love an ace here just to give them a bit of a buffer on lane 15.
Absolutely.
I reckon it's going to be on their minds. First, though, a definite ace opportunity. They would love it just to give them a little bit of comfort on lane 15. First, though, Stephen Samuelson. He's got a 3-stroke lead in 3rd place at the moment over Josh Mars, but he still has lane 15 coming up next.
Stephen with a great lead here on 14. Just about a foot and a half for his par cleanup. Well done.
And it's interesting. You look at 15 coming up. It has a higher average score than 2 of our lanes that have not been aced, number 2 and 6.
Yeah. Interesting.
And all of them, actually. 2, 6, and 12.
Matt Ansley now on 14. This is Royal. This is St. Andrews.
Definite ace opportunity. He would love it right now.
Going right at it over the humps and a backdoor approach.
Close.
Just a bit shy. And no, just got to move it a little bit more there, Matt.
You can see he wants it. You can see in that body language, he really wants it right now.
Well, an interesting one coming up too. So 16 or 18 also has the same average as 15. So those are both lanes where people are averaging over 2.5 strokes. So it's going to come down to some putting on a couple of really tough lanes to finish off this tournament.
Cooper now currently tied for the lead. Will remain tied for the lead.
Going into 15, I think either of them would have liked that ace.
Now,
Wow.
those watching last year will know what happened here on 15. Matt Ansley managed to ace it. We haven't seen it on the stream all weekend, although it has happened.
That's right.
The ace heard around the world. Matt Ansley did achieve an ace on lane 15, but it's an extremely dangerous lane for
Yes.
these players. And right now, Matt Ansley is tied with Cameron Cooper. This could easily be a tournament and championship defining lane for both of them.
Glad to
First,
be
Steven Samuelson.
Glad to be alongside Andrew Edmonds, Tom Loftus, Dave Vida here, bringing the action live from New Zealand. New St. Andrews, lane 15. Here we go. Could this decide it? The wind is howling, that's for sure. Jeez.
This and 18 are the.
Oh,
Man,
Steve
that's what we've
Oh.
seen
is
I
off.
think he just putted that to 18. Jeez, he hit that
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah, I mean, he knows he needs to get it
Yep.
up on that top
You know
part
what,
of
though?
the green.
We'll look at the scores quickly. This could open the door while he's finished, but Josh
It's
Mars
true.
could sneak in third place.
Yeah, right now, yeah. I mean, there's a 3-stroke difference between them, and Steven, you would think, has a high chance at possibly dropping a shot on this. It's a really tough putt. We've seen many people that are in this position not get it. I think I've saw one deuce by Matt Ansley yesterday on this, and that's kind of about it. Maybe it was Cameron Cooper, but
So
it's
this
one
is
of
an
them.
uphill putt left to right. Got to be pacey, and you could play the back door. Let's see. Oh, he went way right.
I was going to say, prove me wrong, Steven. Prove me
He had the
wrong.
wrong line from the beginning. I think he just pushed that severely off the hill there as soon as he hit it. So that really never had a chance.
Well, and it's so hard too because again, the pace and aim, getting those right on that kind of a putt is tricky because you don't want the ball to come back to your feet. That is the ultimate
That's correct.
no on a lane like that.
Matt Ansley now. I can't imagine what's going through these players' minds at the moment. He's currently tied, but now we'll pray to treacherous
Taking a step
lane
back.
15. Yeah,
Taking a golf swing is what he's doing.
I mean, on this lane, you know, he's probably trying to get out some of the adrenaline that's running. He's aced it last year, but that's not, this is 2024.
All right,
We
here
have a
we go.
good final
Good pace.
finish here.
Oh my
Wow.
He's up the
Lord!
hill.
That was so close.
Sit.
That was about an inch away from going off the course.
Yeah,
You could
Literally.
see-
yeah.
You can
That
see his
inch could have
confidence.
decided the whole tournament right there. He stays on the
Jeez.
course.
He has a
And
he
now,
had-
just because he's playing second and Cameron Cooper is playing last, this really puts the pressure onto Cameron
Yeah.
now.
And
Good putt
Cameron,
there
I
from
feel
Matt.
like we've seen drop this one a few times today. In fact, why don't I pull up our handy dandy lane by lane? No,
He's
he
dropped it
dropped it once and not today. So he's been pretty solid on this one.
Here we go.
Cameron Cooper now. This is for his first putt on 15, the new St. Andrews. This is
Could
crucial
well
and
be for the
critical.
championship. Yeah,
He's off.
He's
Oh
off.
no!
That's
he's
trouble.
off.
That is
And
trouble.
and his next lane, Royal St. George, I was just going to say, is one of his 2 worst holes, along with 18. So this is a really tough stretch for Cam in general. So he's got to keep his head, and he's got to be hoping for that ace on 17, which he's gotten a few times.
So he's at the bottom of the hill now. It's close to the rail. That's
Big
where
putt.
the degree of movement for the ball up to the cup is going to be the greatest. He has to
So-
play this at least 2 to 3 balls to the left of the cup to account for the break he's going to experience up this incline. Let's see how he plays it.
Just to explain the stakes here, there's only 3 lanes left after this one. He needs this to stay tied for the lead.
And the 2 of the last 3 lanes are 2
He's
of
aiming
his
very
bottom
far
3.
left. He's
he's got-
backdooring it, and he's
Oh,
in.
he gets
He
it.
did. And you know what?
Woo!
I'd wondered about that because you saw him
Wow.
move some of those fronds away
I
off of
did
that
see that.
bush.
You're right.
And I was like, is he going back door? And I mean, what an impressive one. I think
Wow.
he knew what I was saying, though, that lane 16, he's dropped twice, and lane 18, he's dropped twice, and one of them was a double drop. I mean, other than lane 2, those are his 2 worst lanes. So I think he knew that he can't give up any ground with that ahead of him right now. And boy,
Oh,
did he
wow.
not.
It's crazy.
Just
Wow.
impressive
Wow.
putting.
3 lanes left to go. Matt Ansley and Cameron Cooper are tied for the lead. Stephen Samuelson 2 strokes into 3rd place.
This is Royal St. Andrew. You see the bounce?
Oh, nice.
And this is very well done.
leave. Really nice leave.
That's exactly where you want the ball to be. Tough ace hole. You have to get somewhat lucky, but that's
Yeah.
the type of touch you need.
Yeah, we'd only had 6 prior to that. I think we saw 1 yesterday on the feed.
It's a good pickup there for Steven Samuelson for his par on lane 16 now. Still tied at the top at -3. Matt Ansley. You can see the slope down, the 2 speed humps, and you see the guarding mounds there to allow a channel there for the cup. Players will take it off the left side and will bank it in to the right to the cup. Let's see how Matt can do it.
So Matt has dropped this one
There he
twice.
goes. Oh,
as
no.
well.
there.
So Matt
Oh,
has dropped this and 18 twice
that-
as well, and has not aced
Oh.
17, which
gotta
Cam
be honest.
has aced twice.
Huge
This is a-
reaction from him. Huge
This is a
reaction.
terribly difficult putt.
Yeah.
Terribly difficult.
I'd say maybe, well, depending on how fast you play it, 1 cup to the left,
Yeah.
possibly.
I don't even know. I think you got to go left edge and firm.
Yeah, but you also
Well,
don't
you
want
don't want to be stuck behind the
behind
you
the
don't wanna
other
be
one.
Stuck behind the mound on the other side. Tough. Oh my goodness. Crucial putt with 3 lanes left to go.
Right now, I think Matt is probably checking some notes. Although he's probably
Yeah.
played this and had this putt maybe 1,000 times, I'm sure. However, that still doesn't mean it's going to be any easier. And quite frankly, I'd be really impressed if he makes this.
And he
Yeah,
didn't take the full
for sure.
relief even because he didn't probably want to get too close to that bump where he's going to really hop it. So he wants to get a little bit of a runway.
Ansley for par now.
Big putt, massive putt.
Oh,
Oh, stay.
dear, that was so
there.
good. Did that
It's
bounce
gotta
over
look
the
still.
hole? Did that just
Yeah.
carry too hard over the cup?
It
Did it look
hit
like
it hit the
look-
cup. I think it hit the left edge.
My goodness, that was so good. It looked so good.
Dear
Such
me.
Now he needs this. This is not a gimme either.
Nope.
But he's in.
But this isn't a gimme for Cam. Like I said, 16 and 18, there's not many lanes that have given these two troubles, but they've both dropped it multiple times on these two. And so even if Cam has that lead going into 18, it's going to be a lot
we
of
go.
drama to
Double
finish. He's
bounce.
going that front door.
Where's the
and
ball
he's-
no.
going?
Oh, that's a
he's
great,
gotta
great
look.
leave.
That's going to be the lead going back to Cam Cooper if he can just
Wow.
finish this off. Big swing here.
I think he can. He
And
does.
to not drop that.
Okay.
I mean, getting that deuce on 15 below the hill into this, just such a massive twist of fates. And
Yeah.
this is the lane
Yeah.
17 that Cam has aced multiple times. And
You
Matt
see the way he
has yet
played
to
that
crack
hole,
the door
though?
on it.
He actually played it left hard, bank off, and he took
Yep.
the mound right into play. That was really a strategic putt right there.
And we've
So
seen a
what
few
we're
people
looking at
do that.
here, if Cameron Cooper can finish out with the win, he will become the first person ever to win 3 WMF World Adventure Golf Tour events. Matt Ansley, despite coming close so many times, is looking for his first win,
Ooh.
and he's currently trailing by 1 stroke.
And Stevens really wanting to hold on to, a little spicy in the
Third
cup there.
place. Third place.
To third place, and right
Yeah.
now he just has a 2-stroke lead going into 18 on
Should be
Josh
comfortable.
Mars.
That's
It
comfortable.
should be, but that we've seen even Cam take a 4 on that. So crazier
lane-
things have happened. This is a
Lane-
big lane for Matt. He's
Yeah.
not aced it, and I think he
Lane
probably
17.
knows the ace line and needs this badly.
This is
It's
Firestone.
possible.
He's going to hug the left side of the lane. Let's see. He does. Good effort. And he almost had it.
Oh,
Wow.
so painfully close. And this is one where, if you're Cam, you're in the other position. You're looking at this lane. You've aced it twice. You've stolen some, or 3 times, I take that back, including the last round. This is where you take the momentum back, potentially. This is one of his best lanes.
Here will remain 1 stroke in the lead. Cameron
Good
One of
Cooper.
his best lanes.
And he's almost aced it. I thought it was
painful.
in. Oh, look at him.
That and
Yeah.
St. Andrews were his good lanes, so he really wanted that space because he knows anything can happen on 18. And
Ladies and gentlemen, we go
this is
to
going
the
to be a tight
18th
finish.
18th lane at the 2024 New Zealand Open. This is the final lane of 8 rounds. You see the gallery. They're all here to watch as Steven Samuelson first up on 18.
You see some of the other players, Vansley, James McCarthy, all watching on.
This is Augusta National. You see the horseshoe guarding the cup there in front.
So what Stephen will be looking for now is a 3 or lower
Yes.
to remain in 3rd place.
He needs this big time. Does not want to get behind that horseshoe.
And he did.
And as I say it, okay.
Well, you do that every time.
Sorry,
Gotta be honest.
guys. It's possible. But he knows that too. I think he probably knows it, and you're just hoping the stress isn't getting to them as it is just watching and hoping people aren't finishing on a bad note because it's never fun.
He should be safe here. I think he should play safe and just get in the middle of that
Yes.
horseshoe. Just get in the middle of the horseshoe and you can get a 3. He might not know the scores though. He might not be looking at the scores, but we know that all he needs to do is get a 3 here. So we know that what he should be doing is playing safe.
Need some bragging rights for the flight back. We saw Josh make the 2.
Fantastic.
Shows up Josh.
I tell you what, though, 2nd place or 3rd place rather might get him enough points to get to Portugal as well.
Yeah,
now,
absolutely.
That's huge. He could actually end up in Portugal.
From Matt Ansley would really put the pressure on Cameron.
It'd be crazy.
Just doesn't want to drop.
Definitely
is what he needs. An ace would be fantastic right now.
I mean, if
Matt Ansley trailing by 1 stroke with this final lane to go. Matt Ansley on lane 18.
He's got no aces so far on it.
Solid.
Oh, look at this.
Looks solid.
Oh, wow. That's the best effort I've seen so far on 18.
Yeah.
But that's a great position to be in because now Cam has taken a 4 on it. And if he's on that other side of that horseshoe, we might be going to a playoff.
Okay, so it's a 2 to win for Cameron Cooper to become the first ever person to win 3 WMF World Adventure Golf Tour tournaments. A 2 will win it right here for Cameron Cooper on lane 18.
And back-to-back New Zealand Open. Oh, that's...
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Wow.
This is going to be a tester. Oh, boy, the heart's beating right now. My heart's beating for him.
If he misses it, it's a playoff.
He's getting right into it, not wasting any time. He's up, and he's in!
Oh, that's it. Cam Cooper, the
championship.
repeat New Zealand Open champion.
Wow.
A single stroke. Wow.
How fantastic is that?
2 years in a row, Matt loses a New Zealand Open 2 years in a row by 1 stroke after losing the WAG Tour final by 1 stroke. I mean, got a feel for Matt, but they're both going to get an invite to Portugal. Cam Cooper being the first player this year, I believe, to win 2 events. And the first to win 3 events overall for the WAG Tour. Matt Ansley is, 3-time second-place finisher to Cam Cooper in all of those tournaments, too. So 2 really – and they were all decided by 3 putts. Australia
30
and the New Zealand Open ones.
30 competitors over 2 days, 144 lanes. We've crowned
Wow.
our 2024 New Zealand Open champion, James Cooper, 3-time World Adventure Golf Tour champion. That just sounds
Cameron
great.
Cooper.
Congratulations.
You said James. Too
Did
many
I say,
Jameses.
did I say James again? Did I say James Cooper?
You did.
Stop it.
You
Stop it right
did.
now.
You did. It
Cameron
was
Cooper.
so
Well,
great.
that's what you think you heard. Cameron Cooper is your champion. It's right there in black and white, in blue as well.
And I
Just so you can
and I
see it.
hope Matt doesn't take my repeating how close he has been with Cam on all of these tournaments as any kind of salt in the wounds. He just played so well. Today came back from 7 strokes down to just finish off 1. And if you look at last year's scores, I brought this up a few times. The winning scores were 8 and 9 over par. And so you look at our top 4 players, all of them had scores over 8 rounds that would have won the tournament last year. So some really leveling up on the putting skills, and in big part by 2 Australians taking 3rd and 4th, who really battled it out and played some incredible mini golf, especially being, I would bet neither of them before this week had played that course. So kudos to them for the really strong finishes and finishing ahead of some great putters from New Zealand.
I do feel bad for Stephen McCarthy. I mean, James McCarthy. Yeah. He did have some troubles along the way there, and it fell to 5th place. But all competitors here that ended up top 6 should be pretty proud of the way they played here. This tough, Cameron only dropping 1 stroke in round 8. He started at -4, ended at -3, and Matt Ansley matching his 35 in the final round. Both competitors should be pretty proud and hold their head up high based on the way they played today.
So there you have it. Cameron Cooper becomes the champion of the New Zealand Open 2024, winning by just 1 stroke over Matt Ansley. And year after year, the New Zealand Open just brings the drama in the final round. Cameron Cooper becomes the first ever player to win 3 WMF World Adventure Golf Tour events. For Matt Ansley, his first win will have to come another day. We hope you've all enjoyed this coverage at home. The next WMF World Adventure Golf Tour event will in fact be the final, where 42 of the best players from all around the world will convene in Portugal on May 10th and May the 11th in 2025. And at the end of that event, a world champion of adventure golf will be crowned. Some of the players here that we've seen today will certainly be there. Cameron Cooper and Matt Ansley will be there. Time will tell who else will join them.
Well, I'll tell you what, proud to share the microphone with you two guys. Andrew Edmonds, Tom Loftus, I'm Dave Vida. We've crowned a champion from New Zealand. This time it's Cameron Cooper, 3-time World Adventure Golf champion. We'll see you in Portugal soon. Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate it.
Adios.
Thank you for watching, and goodbye.